Good evening. Hope you're having a great weekend. Welcome to Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw. I'm your host, Dan Elliott. Now, with 3 games in 3 nights, the Kelowna Rockets started off their weekend in style last evening right here on Shaw with a 7-4 victory over Kamloops. This isn't the first offensive outbreak for the Rockets this year. They have scored 5 or more goals 9 times this season and are tied for 4th in the league in goals for with 98. At the bottom of that list is the Portland Winterhawks. They have tallied only 48 goals all year as they struggle to find their identity. This franchise is going through a major transformation, a point made evident by the fact only 6 players who were on their roster 1 year ago today are still with the team. Clearly, this is a rebuilding year for the Hawks, but with a 5-20 record, there's been very few bright spots for the club and even less for the fans to cheer about. To tee up tonight's matchup, let's now check in with our play-by-play crew of Dan Russell and Bill Wilms, who are standing by at Prospera Place in Kelowna.
Thanks, Dan. Welcome back to the Okanagan. We were looking so forward to seeing the Kelowna Rockets for the first time last night because we'd heard how well they played through the month of November. They did come as advertised, Bill.
Yeah, they've scored 7 goals in 2 of their last 3 games. They are the real thing offensively.
And I love their back end. The scouts are coming to see the Luke Shins and Tyson Myers, but Tyson Barrie last night, very good.
Oh, he was terrific. Luke Shin is a real veteran on this hockey club. If the game is about eliminating time and space, Dan, he does it pretty darn well. And you know what? When he gets you in his radar, if he locks onto you, there's no way that he's not going to finish his check on you. The other thing is he's got such good hockey sense. Get the puck over the red line. He knew he was going to take a hit, and then he heads off the ice.
And Barrie, 16 years old. Bill, really 16 years old?
Well, it's hard to believe. That puck sense, you can't teach that. Coaches are always talking about this kind of stuff right there. Look at that pass. He threaded it right under a couple sticks. And then when you go to the high slot like that and find the little opening in the goaltender's armor and get that puck there, that's a special 16-year-old hockey player.
What a shot that was by Barrie. And an emotional win last night against Kamloops, a division rival. In the meantime, they get a last-place team from another division coming in. So Ryan Huskett, the Kelowna coach, was asked about guarding against an emotional letdown.
I think the most important thing for our club is we try to build and get better every day, and I was proud of the way our guys worked last night. I thought it was one of those games where you had to step up and play physical last night. It was nice to see that rivalry back. I think tonight the most important thing is that we play the same way. We have to try and dictate the tempo tonight, and I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves chances at success tonight.
All right, let's turn our attention to the Portland Winterhawks, and no team has made more changes, Bill, than Portland has.
6 guys from a year ago tomorrow are only left on this hockey club. It's amazing. I've never seen that kind of turnover in a year. You know, this guy here, Travis Earhart, this power play for Portland has picked it up a little bit in the last 3 games. He is a key quarterback back there. He's a leading scorer on this team, and he's a defenseman. But for them to be successful, he's got to keep doing that job.
All right, that's Travis Earhart. His coach is Richard Crom, and he's standing by downstairs with Tim Morton.
Richard, let's start with turning this thing around. Is it a sort of baby steps kind of thing? Are you doing it one step at a time?
Well, Tim, it has to be one step at a time, for us right now. But, we need to make some big steps here in a hurry. You want to stay, within reach of making the playoffs. That's been our goal from day one, was to get to the playoffs. And certainly after the way we started, we dug ourselves a big hole. But we've made some changes, and things are starting to turn around for us. We've played some pretty good hockey in the last 4 or 5 games.
So you did win a couple in a row, I guess. So what happened on Friday night?
Well, we go into Chilliwack, who's a good team with a good power play, and the first period was fairly close, and they started to come a little harder in the second period, got some goals on us, and we didn't bounce back, and we didn't show any resilience, the resilience that we needed to, that we had been showing in the last couple of games.
Thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Let's go back upstairs now to Dan and Bill.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Richard Crom. His starting goaltender tonight will be Jordan White. He does have a WHL win, but not in a Portland uniform. Torrey Jung will get the start for Kelowna as we send it back to you, Dan, at WHL Central.
All right, thanks, guys. Now, both the Rockets and Winterhawks are in the midst of a 3 games in 3 night stint. In fact, Portland, along with Seattle, play the most 3-3 this season, 10 in total. Vancouver and Tri-City have the next highest total with 8. Kelowna plays just 3, while the Swift Current Broncos, they get off easy, only have to play 3 games in 3 nights once this season. Huge advantage for them. All right, stick around. The drop of the puck is next, right here on Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw.
That our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the
And a pleasant good evening again from the Okanagan. We get set for our first look at the Portland Winterhawks against Kelowna, two teams that during their glory years have combined for 5 trips to the Memorial Cup. Here are tonight's starting officials. Pat Smith, 24 years old in his 6th year from Vancouver. Carl Poole, 30 years old in his 2nd year. He is from Port Alberni, and you see the young linesman working as well. Chris Hartley and Nick Swain. This will be the 2nd meeting of the year between these two teams. The Rockets won 4-1 in Portland 2 weeks ago. Torrey Jung got the start that game as well. In fact, he'll be making his 4th career start against the Portland Winterhawks. His very first game in the WHL was against Portland. And Jordan White, well, he was the winning goalie in the RBC semifinal game last year at the Tier 2 level, a game that went 5 overtimes, ended at 2 in the morning, and then they had to play the championship game. They had to play that 12 hours later.
Strauss-Herb WHL on Shaw is brought to you by the Strauss-Herb Company of Products. Trust the tradition.
Kelowna Rockets in the dark uniforms going left to right as Shen shoots the puck into Portland territory. It goes hard around the boards over on the far side and it's tipped out to the neutral zone. Shen will try again. Now it's controlled by Earhart. Long lead pass up to Swiston. This is the 3rd jerseys that Portland wears, and wow, there was a big open ice collision as Bo Montgomery was in the middle of that one. And we had a lot of those hits last night, Bill, and kind of picking up where we left off. I don't know if we'll see as many tonight as Belchar goes in over the line, takes a high shot over top of Corey Jung's net, and it's tipped out. And Ben will give chase for Kelowna. A little bit of a give and go. Leavold, drop pass. Now Long puts the puck behind the net. Leavold in front for Long. Trying to move it again in front of the goal. No Rocket standing in front, but they do have possession. And here's Myers at the line. Couldn't get the quick shot away. Leavold puts it back at the net for Long. Now hustling over there is Paradis for Portland. He knocks it out to the neutral zone, but only for a moment. And Gabriel controls inside his line and gets it out to the red line before shooting it in.
Dan, if the Portland Winterhawks can match the intensity of this Kelowna Rocket team and make plays without standing still, they've got a chance. That's going to be the whole secret for Portland, is match the intensity that the Rockets have.
Montgomery goes back to get the puck. Bo Montgomery is from Moose Jaw, 17-year-old, sends it around the boards. Now it is Kelowna's Luciano trying to chase it down there in the corner. Comes back to the line. Long shot. That's tipped right on to goaltender White, and he holds on.
That Portland Winterhawks sort of magic number seems to be 4. And what I mean by that is in their 5 wins, 4 times they've scored 4 goals. And, you know, if the Hawks can take some of these Sunday punches here and kind of stay standing that the Rockets are going to throw at them again, they've got a chance. But you know, scoring 4 times is pretty tough to do against a Kelowna Rocket team that's playing some of their best hockey all season long right now.
They don't win much on the road, but they've won in a couple of impressive places. They won in Everett, and they won in Medicine Hat.
Dan, the 3 home wins, Regina, Saskatoon, and Chilliwack. They've also beaten Regina at home, which is a good team. We know the Bruins are too. And, you know, Torrey Jung getting the start, played the game at Portland, that 4-1 win. He made 26 saves out of 27 that night. Jung did. Get a look at the other goaltender, Jordan White.
As the faceoff goes deep into Kelowna territory. Dozak for the Rockets. This is Kintar. In fact, it said it hit a Portland player, so there is no icing. And the Winterhawks back to get it. I mentioned it's their 3rd jerseys, and the big black stripe goes right in the middle of that number. So from up here, it's kind of hard to differentiate between some of the Portland players, especially on the far side. Every team has a 3rd jersey these days, and this is what Portland wears as their 3rd jerseys. Some have more than 3. Back out in the neutral zone, that's Betker, number 11. Matt Betker is from Chilliwack. Now inside his own line is Kerr. Montgomery plays it up out to the neutral zone. Barry will send it right back into Portland territory. We passed the 3-minute mark here. Kind of a cautious start. We've had a couple of good body checks. There was one there as Swiston brings it in over the line. His shot is blocked. Barry tries to hit Swiston, who ducks from that hit. Swiston, number 7, coming up with that loose puck, playing it back to Montgomery. Can he hold it in? Yes, he does. Swiston again. Takes a long backhand. Goes off the edge of his stick, and Shen sends it just inside the Portland line. Montgomery will play across ice, and the Winterhawks able to get it out to the neutral zone. Barry there intercepting. Lucas Bludoff had a strong game last night for Kelowna. Crunched out of the play as he just got inside that blue line. That was Morrow that hit him. Now following it up is Ben. Ben going in and poke check. Nice. It's good long reach there by Montgomery to get his stick on it. As Ben looked like he was going to go around Montgomery and maybe have a path to the Portland goal. Meantime, Lucas Bludoff starts back with Long. As Long takes that pass, he tries to find a little bit of room. Trying to buy some more as he puts it back in the net. Lucas Bludoff with Ben back there. They work that cycle. Long's got the puck now. More cycling. Ben now to the deep slot. Dishes it off. There's a shot. That's Colin Joe being in on that rush, deep in that circle, testing goaltender White, and he gets that shot on goal.
Ben with good acceleration at the top of the face-off circle to cut into the slot. These Kelowna forwards do have good acceleration in the offensive zone. They handle the puck as well in the offensive zone as probably any team I've seen this year.
Here come the Winterhawks out of their own zone. Schmerman's long pass ends up on the stick of Velcher. There's a shot to stop by Jung, and Long picks up the rebound, starts back 2-on-2. Long with Cruciano. Leibold has his stick lifted, and here comes Portland. Gabriel. Long shot right into the midsection of Jung. He thought for a moment he was going to freeze it. Instead, dropped it down, and that leads to this. Leibold from center, shooting the puck in. As Kelowna makes a line change, Portland has lots of room to move it out. Here's Gabriel. Gabriel sends it in. Jung will block it. Give it to Dozak, but Dozak's forced off the puck nicely. Good forecheck there by Portland. But it is picked up there by Bowman. Lead pass. And out comes McMillan as he gets taken into the boards. As Montgomery's had a good start here in the first couple of minutes. McMillan, though, avoiding that check and getting that shot. That was a good play by McMillan. It looked like Montgomery had eliminated him, but McMillan came out of the boards and made a real nice play to get a good scoring chance for Kelowna.
Yeah, Montgomery with 2 good elimination of time and space plays, Dan, but he's got to pin that man to the wall, that last one in the corner. You called it perfectly. He led him away from the boards. You can't do that. But Montgomery's looked solid the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game.
Puck goes down the ice. There's no icing. Jung will leave it for Barry. Tyson Barry leaves it for Shen. Up it goes to Evan Bludoff. He ducks out of the way of a check. But Allman, who's back in the lineup tonight after serving a 2-game suspension for knee, he wears number 12 for Kelowna. He sends the puck deep into Portland territory. 6.5 minutes gone, no score. 2-1 are the shots in favor of Kelowna. Check that, in favor of Portland. It's a bit of a cautious start here. There's a gambling kind of pass by Ullman right up the middle, but he got away with it. Myers from inside his own blue line.
Now the Rockets got to be careful they don't force plays. You know, look for the open lanes, get guys moving. The responsibility of receiving a pass is just as much the receiver's responsibility as the passer.
Leibold goes in hard, and the puck just got away from him the last minute and rolled into the goaltender White. Portland played last night in Chilliwack, lost that game 5-2. They played Chilliwack last week, and I think they saw a few pucks on their net that particular night. Their number 1 goaltender, Curtis Muka. He's not playing tonight, but he sure was busy last week, has been all along, and we're getting our first penalty. It's hooking, and Portland is going to be shorthanded.
Well, Muka not playing, Jordan White in goal. I know the Prince George Cougars cut him, but how did he end up in Portland? He was asked before the game.
If I could come and try out. A few teams got back to me, and Portland, they were the first, and they added me to their list, invited me to camp. And I've just been battling hard, and they let go of another goal a few weeks ago, and they've told me that I've earned my spot, and I'm glad to be here.
So Kelowna sets up on the first power play, and here's Ben taking a shot, and that's a good save by the youngster you just heard from, Jordan White. Good low, hard shot by Ben, as he had a little bit of room and time in the deep slot.
why Jamie Benn has been so effective and why he scored so many goals in the junior league is this play right here. He did that at the BCHL, and he's been able to do that here in a Western Hockey League. What he did there is he got himself a little more room by moving about 6 feet to his left. That's just a goal scorer's move to be able to have the presence of mind to do that.
Here's Long for Kelowna. He plays back to McMillan. His shot, that's knocked down. This is the 7th ranked power play in the Western Hockey League. They operate at 19.5%. The Portland penalty kill is 19th. Actually, Kelowna's penalty kill is even less than Portland's. And there's a shorthanded chance and a good save there by goaltender Jung off Dietrich. That's Jacob Dietrich, the 20-year-old. There's 2 Dietrichs in the lineup. His younger brother plays on the club as well. Montgomery plays it hard around the boards, and that's going to get out. Good start here for Montgomery on the back end.
Yeah, he's been terrific. You know, he's a big guy. He's about 6'5". Real good. He played, you know, for that really kind of a so-so team that Portland had last year. And even though he played, Dan, he's become that much better simply by that experience.
49 seconds to go in this first power play of the hockey game. And so far, Kelowna hasn't really generated too much except for that one chance. Myers and Shen at the line take the long shot. That's knocked down. That was knocked down by Earhart. And now it is again back to the blue line where Shen and Myers pass it back and forth. The shot by Shen is knocked down. Boy, there was a lot of traffic in front of the net. Didn't get past the first body, but the goaltender, White, he was looking all around for it, couldn't find it. Here's Myers. Taken off his stick by Earhart. And now in the corner there is Miles McRae. Another hard hit there. There's a centering pass, and White makes the save off Evan Bludoff, and he holds on to stop the play.
Dad, what happens so often in hockey, watch the 5 guys there for Portland. When you get a clear shot, not this one here, the box collapses. Look, 1, 2, 3, there's 4 guys. There's 3 guys in front of the goaltender, plus a Kelowna Rocket in there, Brady Leovold putting a screen in the way. And teams will do that so well now. They collapse the box to the front of the net when they've lost position on the penalty kill. The Winterhawks did it very, very well there.
And they're at the dying end of this power play. Look like they're going to kill it, but instead Kittner is going to get one more shot to test White up high. Took it up in that mask area or that chin protector. Penalty is over, but there's still this pressure in front of the net for Evan Bludoff, and he couldn't get that pass on his stick. And now Kittner plays it to the corner, at least for a moment. Winterhawks can't force it out the first time, but do, and here they come out of their own zone. And Swiston has his pass go off Bobby, who's back in the lineup. Or check that, it's Keith Wojciech. Bobby is back in the lineup. He's missed a lot of games through injury, but back as of this weekend. Here's a chance for Portland in front of the net, and a big collision there. Meantime, it is Shodin, number 16, trying to feed it in front of the net. Swiston couldn't get it, even though Joe had lost his stick. And here's Evan Bludoff with speed right in, and White makes the save. He doesn't know where it is. It's in his equipment, and he holds on to stop the play. And wow, there was one of our best scoring chances of the first 10 minutes. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Want you to watch Colin Joe, 7 black. Look at that play along the boards, but this is what really was impressive. Boy, do you ever cut that space off for the player going to the front of the net. He kicked that puck ahead so that that pass could be made to Evan Bludoff. And here's a shot on goal, and nice save by goaltender White. But boy, that was a terrific shift by that guy right there in his own zone to make that play physically and then get that puck out of his end.
Nice start for Jordan White in goal. His only Western Hockey League win was here in Kelowna, wearing a Prince George uniform. Face off to his right. By the way, he stands 6'2" in that net. It looks a little even taller than that, but 6'2" is how they list him. 174 pounds. And he is from Surrey. There's a centering pass in front of the Kelowna net. Now from the line, Morrow dishes it down the boards. That's Jacob Dietrich, but his pass doesn't connect. And out it comes to the center ice area. By the way, we'd like to also welcome those watching in the Portland area tonight, as Comcast has picked up this game, watching the Portland Winterhawks on the road. So hello to our viewers in the Rose City tonight. Glad you're aboard, watching the Winterhawks, a rare appearance on the road, and a good start for Portland on the road. Road has not been their friend. Only a couple road wins this year, but Allman puts the puck in front of the Portland goal. That's knocked down. Shot around the boards by Betker. Does not quite come out. Now it is forced out. and Allman controls. Allman for the Rockets. Nice pass to Ben. Look at all the Winterhawks back, and yet Ben still gets a pretty good shot away. There was nobody with him. He was going top shelf, just unable to score.
You know, we thought that we might, if lucky, get to see Curtis Muka in net here tonight. He's certainly been the story. There he is. You know, the 2 wins against Regina and Chilliwack, and the 1 loss at Chilliwack last night, this guy faced 144 shots. I'll do the math for you. Hey, is he tired? I'll tell you, he needs to have a break. Dad, he averaged 48 shots a game in those 3 games. It's just amazing.
Meantime, he's watching Jordan White face a few here, and there was his latest one, and a good save off Leavold. Meantime, more Kelowna pressure. Leavold from back of the net, trying to work that puck in front. Earhart couldn't get clear possession for Portland, but the Winterhawks do get it, and out they come. As they hit the line, it's Shodin putting it back of the net. Swiston spinning there in the corner. He and Shodin passing it on the cycle. Rockets trying to break it up, do just that. And Leavold able to get it out and maintain possession as he passes it towards Long, but just out of his reach. Shen will follow up, sidesteps 1 or 2 players, and it gets deep into Portland territory. 7:49 to go, first period, no score. Kelowna Rockets, 32 points in the standings. Or 34 points, I should say, in the standings. 6 points back of the Vancouver Giants in first place. Vancouver's playing tonight. Dan Elliott will be updating those scores as the night moves along from WHL Central. Meantime, here's Kittner. There's a good jolt back of the net. McGill takes out Kittner. Bruciano off his skates, takes the quick shot. White makes the save. Kittner again in the corner. Now it's Dietrich. Nick Dietrich gets the puck over to brother Jacob. He lost the puck. It's deep in that slot area, but the Winterhawks will get it out of harm's way, and it's backhanded down the ice by Matt Betker, icing the call on Portland.
Aaron McGill, an 18-year-old from Salem, Oregon, kind of walked onto the Portland Winterhawk team as a walk-on. He had 87 points in 49 games played. But let me tell you, that's the 4th player from Portland metro area to ever make the Portland Winterhawk team. Paul Gosted, who's now in the National League, Chip Petrino, Grant Sasser are the other 3. 4 guys have made it. And that's good on McGill.
He played for the junior Winterhawks, had 41 goals in 58 games with the junior Winterhawks in the Portland area, so good for them to have a local guy in their lineup.
Well, you talk about 2 wins on the road, 3 wins at home ice. It reminds me of the comment that then coach Harry Neal of the Vancouver Canucks made. You remember when he said, I can't win at home, and I can't win on the road, and my biggest fault is I can't find somewhere else to play the games. But
one of the great quotes of all time.
8-3 shots on goal right here, favoring the Kelowna Rockets. And I think Portland a little tough in their own zone. Then they've lost a little bit of position on the Kelowna Rockets, and they've got to maintain in that time and space. If they make contact, they've got to finish the checks. And I think Coach Crom recognizes that, makes that quick line change, and gets new troops out there.
Well, I know they'd love to score first. They don't get many goals on the road. They only have 17 goals total away from home this year, 44 allowed. So it would help their cause a lot if they could get the first one here tonight. They're doing a pretty good job in their own end. I know Kelowna's had some chances, but I'm sure there's many nights where Portland gives up way more quality chances than they have in the first 13 minutes here.
Yeah, if they just get their feet moving a little bit quicker. You know, I mean, this is a good Kelowna team that forechecks. And in my opinion here, Dan, so far in the first 14 minutes, yeah, exactly what Coach Huska talked about. Maybe a little bit of a letdown. It isn't the same intensity we saw here last night. And the Winterhawks got to make sure that Kelowna's not allowed to crank it up at all, especially in their own zone.
Meantime, long pass for Chris Francis, misses him in the Kelowna zone. He gives chase. Also in deep there is Grisica. Chasing Grisica, number 29, hanging around in that slot area. Can they get him the puck? Maybe not. A couple good defensive plays back there. Barry trying to reach in to check Francis. Francis off the boards. He came off the boards well, but the puck then just rolled off his stick. Shot back behind that Kelowna net. Again, it's Grisica giving chase. Portland making a line change, so Grisica's pass is poked out of the Kelowna zone by Lucas Bludoff. Now it's Barry from back of the net. His pass for Shin, almost broken up But the Rockets are going to come out of their own zone, led by Lucas Bludoff. He sends the puck to Allman. Allman, for a minute, like he go right in front of the net. Instead, takes it back at the goal, waiting for somebody to break, throws it towards the net. Joe has snuck in. He puts it back for St. Denis. St. Denis ends up back on Colin Joe's stick. And again on Colin Joe's stick, and a long bouncing shot, a one-hopper. White kicks that aside. Allman is taken out nicely. St. Denis can't control the puck, and the Winterhawks get possession. And they got lots of room because Kelowna is making a line change. And even though Schmerman was fighting for it in his skates, he was able to still have the time to get it out. Leavold tips it back into Portland territory. Goaltender White will leave it there for Ryan Kerr. Ryan Kerr plays it up those boards. Chodine has it. Chodine is with Wojtacek. Chodine has it poked off his stick. Swiston following up. But it's Kelowna with possession.
See, Chodine came into the offensive zone there, and what did he run into? He ran into 4 black-shirted Kelowna Rockets. He's got to get some support coming up the ice with him.
Meantime, here comes Colin Long. Plus 13 is his plus-minus on the Kelowna Rockets team. He had a terrific month of November, 19 points, and was a plus 8 as of the end of the calendar month.
And I said it last night, Colin Long, I don't know what other Bantam 11th round pick, 11th rounder is leading his team in scoring. Phenomenal. You know, that's what the Rockets have been patient with him.
Bowman sends it deep into Portland territory. Gabriel has it there. Gabriel, the oldest defenseman on the Portland team. Now a lead pass ends up on Wojtacek's stick, but it's offside. He threw himself offside at the Kelowna line.
Torrey Jung was asked, is Tampa, the team that drafted him, concerned at all, or is even he concerned with a lack of playing time with Kelowna going mainly with Christopher Westblom this year? This is what he had to say.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Everybody's got lots of family, friends back home. I mean, watching them, and I mean, they really want to come out and play their best. Me in particular, I've got a couple of relatives back home, mom, dad. I've heard my grandparents are coming over, so I mean, it's certainly more of a, I guess, important game personally to a lot of guys, and I think we can expect everybody to come out and play real hard for each and everybody in the dressing room and everybody back home.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that was Tyler Swiston, and he was asked about how excited it is to be playing on television. A 19-year-old good hockey player for this team. I think that Swiston can probably get 20 or 25 goals for them. They've already got 10. He had 12 last year.
Meantime, Kelowna is going to take an offensive zone penalty. The first Kelowna penalty will result in Portland going to the power play, a trip in the offensive zone. And coming over to the penalty box for Kelowna will be McMillan. Brandon McMillan gets 2 minutes for tripping.
Well, they spent a lot of time in the offensive zone, 8-3 shots on goal, and McMillan, you know, sometimes you just get caught wanting to make a hit. You've got the guy all lined up, and he makes a little bit of a turn on you, and you really haven't got time to pull your stick back in because it wasn't out there to trip him to begin with, but he's made a turn on you, and now your stick takes him to the ice, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Now I think the graphic will come up and show you Portland's power play numbers. Yeah, there they are. And meantime, a breakaway the other way. McRae right in, and he scores! Second rebound. McRae 1-0 shorthanded, and yes, the Portland power play has struggled, almost allowing as many shorthanded goals against as they've scored power play goals. It's 1-0 Kelowna.
You know, Miles McRae, we mentioned this a couple times. He's had such great preseasons. And you don't think he can skate? You bet he can skate. You don't think he's got a nose for the goal? Stay with that one. Right there. He didn't turn. He knew that rebound just might be sitting there, and he makes the play on it and gives him a shorthanded goal, the 5th shorthanded goal for the Rockets this year.
Miles McRae. The assist to number 5, Luke Shen.
Shen gets the first assist.
Time of the goal,
and the
17.
only assist. Meantime, lots of time left on this power play. Earhart gets it to Swiston, but he gets tangled up there and lost the puck. So McRae scores goals in back-to-back nights. His second of the year last night was that fluke goal from center. This one looks a little bit prettier. A shorthanded breakaway marker for Miles McRae. Swiston able to put the puck back in the net, and it's centered. It's a high centering pass, so that's picked off and shot down the ice. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Lee Morrow back to get it. Morrow from Panoka, Alberta, has it broken up. He'll have to go back and give chase. McRae back out there, trying to hound up a loose puck. This time it's not there for him. Meantime, it's shot just inside the Kelowna line, and just like that, shot all the way down the ice. And things were going pretty good for Portland. Maybe the power play was the thing they didn't need.
Well, you know, sometimes that's exactly what happens. The power play that you get, the opportunity, takes a little momentum away from you.
Montgomery going in deep. Now here's King. Plays it back in that far corner. Standing in front of the net is Grasica. Trying to get some positioning in front of there, but the puck doesn't get through. Now McMillan jumps on it for Kelowna, and he sidesteps the check. Here comes Long. Penalty is over. Long going in. As it poked off his stick, McMillan goes to the corner. A minute to go in the period. Kelowna with possession. There's a centering pass towards Dozak, who was trying to sneak in, but intercepted it. Back comes Francis. Francis sidesteps one check, takes a quick shot, and Jung with the right pad makes a pretty good save. Leavold gets that puck in over the line for Ben. In front of the net. That was either a hard pass or a shot on goal. White made the save. There's a long shot by Shen. That's knocked down. Shen follows it up. Boy, the scouts must love how he just stays on that puck, Bill.
Yeah, he's just got tremendous puck awareness and knows where it is all the time.
Apparently he wants it all the time.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. There's Kerr going back inside and deep into his own zone now in just the dying seconds of this period. Gabriel knocking it off the boards and out to the center ice area. So that's going to probably do it here as the buzzer sounds. And the Kelowna Rockets, Bill, needed the late short-handed goal to get the first goal of this game against this Portland team.
One thing about the Rockets, they've trailed after one period only 5 times this year. They're always in it after 20 minutes. And Portland Winterhawks, really not a bad period, but they find themselves in a position again of having to play come from behind hockey.
1-0 after one period of play for Kelowna as we send it back to Dan Elliott at WHL Central.
Portland always in tough on the road. They are 2-10 away from home this year. Now coming up in the first intermission, rearguard success, a profile on Rockets 16-year-old blue liner Colin Bowman. Former Victoria Grizzly and current Kelowna forward Jamie Benn will be our rinkside guest. Plus, if the Blades hope to get back into contention, their top line must lead the way. And of course, we'll have all the highlights from the first 20 minutes of play. That's coming up next right here on Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw. Welcome back. Snowy night here in Vancouver at WHL Central. We are through one period of play in Kelowna between the Rockets and Winterhawks, and it is the Rockets leading 1-0. Miles McRae with his third of the season, a short-handed marker for Kelowna. Now the Spokane Chiefs have turned a few heads so far this season, sitting atop the Dub standings with 20 wins and just 3 losses in regulation. Leading the charge is Drayson Bowman, who is second in the league in scoring and has been the WHL Player of the Week for 2 straight weeks. His brother Colin also plays in the league. He is a D-man for the Kelowna Rockets, and despite being just 16 years of age, is trying to follow in his older brother's footsteps and make a name for himself.
Sometimes young defensemen just need confidence and a chance to prove they can handle challenging minutes. With Luke Shen and Tyler Myers out of the lineup, 16-year-old Colin Bowman got that opportunity October 30th and didn't disappoint. Bowman was solid in a 6-1 thrashing of the Blazers and showed the coaches he is ready for additional ice. He's been playing tougher minutes, lining up against the opposition's better players and killing penalties.
When key guys are in the lineup, you're usually playing against their third and fourth lines, but when you step it up a little bit, you're playing against top guys in the league and their top line most of the night, so it's a lot more work.
How's that for your confidence level?
It's good. I mean, it felt good to be able to go out there and compete for a lot of minutes and show what I can do.
Bowman has good size for a young defender at 6'2", 190, so he has the strength to move out big bodies from in front of the net. His game is based on simplicity, doing the right things, usually the safe things, at the right time. And he has a +6 mark in 22 games to show for it.
I always like to keep it on the plus side as far as plus minus and just be able to shut guys down and not get beat one-on-one or any of that stuff and just keep it simple and make good passes and get the puck out of the zone.
He only has 20 PIMs, and 5 of those came last Friday in an ill-advised scrap with Kootenay's Jordan Wilkins. But he's not prone to taking stupid penalties that puts his team down a man.
It's not so much tying up your man, but it's just being smart and being in the right position and know what you have to do to stay out of the box, but still do what you can to stop the opposition.
Bowman will never be known as a power play quarterback. He has just 2 points, but he did put up a point a game with Coeur d'Alene of the North Pacific League last season.
Pretty stay at home. I mean, I think when I was younger and even last year, I play the power play and all that stuff, but I usually just try to shut guys down on defense and then, you know, put my shots in through when I can. I like watching guys like Chris Pronger and stuff like that. They play great D, but can also contribute on offense and on the power play and stuff, but aren't always rushing the puck or anything.
Bowman hails from Littleton, Colorado, not a place known for developing hockey players, except maybe for his older brother. He leads Spokane in scoring and was just named CHL Player of the Week for the 2nd straight week.
We started playing spring hockey up in Vancouver a little bit and started getting familiar with the WHL and the CHL and all that stuff. We just like the style of play better, and it's a little bit more of a fast track, and you can play at a higher level at a young age. And watching him grow up and go through it really pretty much made my decision to play in the league, and it just really helped me see what it was like.
Now, with a healthy blue line, Bowman continues to play. Not every game, mind you, but a lot more than was expected at the start of the season. He looks to be another in a long line of promising young defensemen to come up through this organization.
Thanks, Tim Morton, for that. All right, stick around. We got more coming up after the break. You're watching Strauss Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. Miles McRae has got the lone goal so far through 20 minutes of play as his Kelowna Rockets lead the Portland Winterhawks 1-0 at Prospera Place. Now, Jamie Benn has been a welcome addition to the Rockets roster ever since coming to Kelowna from the Victoria Grizzlies of the BCHL, and right now he is rinkside at Prospera Place with Tim Morton.
Jamie, a different first period than last night. Your thoughts on the first 20 minutes?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty huge getting that first penalty kill goal, and you know, we just got to keep going here and bring the pressure, and you know, we got to come out even harder in the second period.
You got a shorty late in the period there. Is that something you try to do with a team that's struggling on the power play? Is exploit that?
You know, that just kind of worked out to the best for us. You know, we just try and kill penalties the best we can, and you know, just was fortunate that we scored one there.
You're known for your offense and a great wrist shot. You're also plus 12. Is that something you pride yourself on, playing well defensively?
Yeah, you know, I want to put up the points, but I also want to be good in my defensive zone. So, you know, it's nice having a plus, but, you know, I'm just playing hard out there and, you know, doing my best.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks a lot.
That's Jamie Benn. He had a goal and 2 assists a couple of weeks ago in Portland.
All right, thanks, Tim. Should mention Portland has given up the most shorthanded goals this season with 8. Now, the Saskatoon Blades have failed to meet expectations so far this season. Currently last in the East Division with only 10 wins in 28 games. The Blades will need to find their stride rather soon if they want to keep pace with the rest of the division. And that means getting production from more than just one line.
3 players back for another season with the Saskatoon Blades are Galen Patterson, Derek Hulak, and Justin McRae. These young guys have been steadily increasing in skill and consistency during their time in Saskatoon. And Galen Patterson, for one, has matured a lot with the Blades and sees that his teammates have helped him to improve his game.
As a 16-year-old, it's tough to, well, that's what you want to get is your confidence going, right? And now that I'm a 17-year-old second-year player, I feel a lot more confident out there. You know, you're 16, you're getting comfortable, and you're 17, you have more responsibility, and it just keeps going up by the go.
So what's been your biggest improvement this season?
So far this season, I'd have to say, well, I've been working on my shot all summer, so that for sure, but it's confidence too. I really feel a lot comfortable out there.
Derek Hulak is another hometown boy making a name and a spot for himself on the Blades roster. Since returning home to Saskatoon from the Regina Pats last year, Derek has fit well into the team and knows each player has a big part to play.
I think everybody, you know, that I played with on my line, everybody's going hard, and you know, things have been, they clicked for us at the start, and then we kind of got away from doing the simple things and doing the little things right, so we've been struggling as of late.
One aspect of Derek's game that makes him a bit different from the other Blades is that he has asthma to contend with. While it doesn't slow him down too much, he does have to factor it into his gameplay.
For me personally, you know, sometimes it affects my breathing and whatnot, and it definitely gets frustrating, especially playing this level of hockey, sometimes not being able to breathe.
With his health condition aside, Derek knows that there is always room for improvement.
Definitely got to start bearing down on my chances. I've been playing with 2 great line mates, and they've been setting me up quite a bit. But as of now, I haven't been producing as much as I'd like. And with the opportunities I have, I think I should be producing more.
With 16 points in 18 games this season, it's obvious that Alberta-born Justin McCray is a top player with the Saskatoon Blades. But that success doesn't result from just one person. It goes without saying that this Blades veteran requires good communication and relies heavily on his teammates while on the ice.
My line mates are great to play with. I mean, they all see the ice very well. We seem to connect well in the corners, and it's a lot of fun playing with those guys. So every shift we go out there, when we get some offensive chances, it's a lot of fun. My first couple games, I felt like I was not trying to do too much and not playing my game. And I think when I'm at my best, I'm playing physical and using my line mates lots and getting lots of shots on net. So.
For WHL Saskatchewan, I'm Michael Clausen.
Busy night around the league. Let's see what else is going on. The Kootenay Ice continue to roll. They've won 10 of 11, winning 4-3 in a shootout over Regina. Dustin Sylvester had the shootout winner. Brett Leffler had 2 goals in the losing cause. Moose Jaw, PA, they are tied at 2 in the third. Jason Bass, Joe Broda for the Warriors, Ryan DePamp, Brandon Harrod for the Raiders. Elsewhere, Brandon defeating Swift Current 4-2. Shen, Lowry, Bartek, and Dittmer scoring for the Wheat Kings. It's Edmonton up 2-1 on Saskatoon. Saskatchewan and Lukoff have got the goals for the Oil Kings. That game in the third period. How about Red Deer and PG? Brandon Sutter, the lone goal in that game as the Rebels lead 1-0. Medicine Hat up 3-0 on Spokane. Tyler Ennis, a goal and assist, give him 18 goals on the season. Chilliwack leading Kamloops 2-1. Moeller, Santorelli each with a goal and assist. Nick Holden with 2 assists. It's Tri-City up 2-1 on Seattle. Sean Vay, Colton Yellowhorn with the goals. And Vancouver is leading Everett 3-0 in the first intermission. Repick, Bliznak, and Kane have goals for the Giants. All right, time now to return to Kelowna, where Dan and Bill are standing by with a recap of the first period between the Winterhawks and Rockets. Guys?
Thanks very much, Dan. 1-0 after 1 period of play for the hometown Kelowna Rockets. We'll show you the goal in a minute, but Portland has a defenseman named Montgomery who had a pretty strong period.
Bo Montgomery's a 17-year-old, Dan. He's big, he's 6'5", and when we roll this in a second here, you'll see that he gets to the right spots, but he's not quite strong enough to finish the checks. But this guy, believe me, Portland fans, you're going to love him starting already this year, but by the time this guy's a 19-year-old, he's going to be a terrific defenseman. Here we go, we'll show you. He knows how to finish the checks. I thought he had a great period. Watch him, he's too white there. Now, he forces that play to the outside. That's Jamie Benn. But you see, he doesn't finish his check quite well enough. He's not strong enough. Now, he'll make contact here. Take it to the boards, but there's too much space there. And he lets the guy go. He knows he's going to get hit, but he knows where to go with the puck. That was great. Jamie Benn, see the little move he made to go 11 feet or 12 feet to his side? Little dipsy doodle here. Jamie Benn, 14th for Kelowna, was the leading rookie scorer last year, as you look at the goal, in the BC Hockey League, and he leads all goal scorers, Ben does, in the rookies in this league. And those little plays like that show you he's made a great adjustment in WHL.
That was Miles McCray who scored
shorthanded.
Goal. It says McMillan there, but Miles McCray shorthanded, 17-11 of that period. Shen getting the assist. So the Portland Winterhawks, they had a terrible season last year, let's be honest. I mean, Kelowna, I think, had 5 more or 6 more wins. Portland made a lot of changes this year, Bill. How long will it take for, I'm sure a lot of people wonder, even in the Portland viewing area, how long it takes for those changes to take hold?
I think at least half a season. Especially if you've got a real solid philosophical commitment from the coaching staff that know where they want to go with the players that they've got. I think they've made some nice changes. They've picked up some players. But then we said in our pregame show, a year ago last night, they've only got 6 players left from a year ago. Boy, that's a big, big turnover. And so you're getting guys coming from different teams, different philosophies. They've got to meld together. 30 games, max?
Okay. Stand by. We've got the second period of this game coming up. Kelowna leading 1-0. You're watching the Western Hockey League from the Okanagan on Shaw. Welcome back to Kelowna. The Rockets leading 1-0 over the Portland Winterhawks. as we get ready for the start of the second period. Before we drop the puck, though, we were talking about Torrey Jung, the Kelowna goaltender, the Tampa Bay draft, wondering if the Lightning is at all concerned with the lack of playing time he's getting in this season and right after his draft year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every goalie wants to play a lot. Tampa Bay is no different in seeing my production and, you know, my year come along. But I think talking to them on a weekly basis, they seem to be more interested in my practice habits and my off-ice work ethic and stuff like that. So I think ultimately down the line, more starts will come and they'll see the progress come along.
You know, he was drafted last year, Dan, despite only playing 33 games. Tampa Bay really was impressed by the kid, and he did play, Torrey did play a stretch of 20 straight games when, you know, Westblom got injured, so he can prove, he has proved, I guess, that he can handle that workload. Good for him.
Played only 539 minutes this year, 10 games, but he is getting the start here against Portland. And I wondered, and I don't have this stat, but I wonder how many times the Portland Winterhawks face a backup goalie. I'll bet they face a backup goalie more times than any team in the Western League. It's a good spot to play your backup.
Now, you've only won 5 games, so that's right. You're going to take a little bit of time to get somebody back in there, but you know, the thing though, Dan, is you can't take the Portland team for granted ever. I mean, in the Western Hockey League, they'll play and they'll play hard all the time.
As we start this period, teams at full strength. Kelowna in the dark uniforms. Now back to the attack. Leivold throwing it in front, and that almost went in off Earhart. It goes off his stick, or skate rather, wide of the net. Meantime, Ben plays it back to Shen. I love it when Ben plays it back to Shen. Now Leivold has it. Has to sidestep that stick on the ice. No, he didn't do a good job doing that. He put it right on the tape.
And Ben had that figured out where that rebound was going.
And Barry always knows seemingly where it goes as he takes that shot from the line. Long now. Dishes it off back to Ben. And again, that stick's kind of getting in his way over there. Long.
Come on, Winterhawks, you got to get in there and finish a check.
Lucas blued off.
This is not a power play, we got to tell you.
Now Colin Long again. There's McMillan back at the goal. That's pretty passive right now from a defensive standpoint. Finally, Lucas Bludoff tries to get it in front of the net. Jacob Dietrich is taken down. Rockets maintaining offensive zone possession here.
Wow, this is a weird
It is.
This
is a weird shift.
This is a very different shift, folks. Finally, there's a battle along the boards. Very passive going in there, and the Rockets contain the puck.
I mean, there's a great save, too, by White off Myers. But I don't know if I've ever seen a team more passive in their own zone in a 2-minute stretch than what we just saw the Portland Winterhawks.
Strauss Herb WHL on Shaw is brought to you by the Strauss Herb Company of Products. Trust the tradition.
Yeah, that was different. But I will say this, every time I looked around, the Winterhawks were looking over their shoulder to see who to cover. That was a good part of that shift, but they weren't going to the wall to ever fight for the puck. There you go. That's a little better. Get in there and battle for that puck.
Well, that's Swiston. He played for Medicine Hat in the Memorial Cup last year. He knows a little bit about the battle factor. Luciano for Kelowna. Now Kittner in this corner. Winterhawk player taken down, and the back official way out here calls that penalty. And it's a trip on Kelowna, so Portland will have their second power play. Remember, in the first power play, Kelowna scored the only goal of the game.
Well, it's a tripping penalty, and it's in the offensive zone. Bruciano, such a good skater. We saw him last night, very impressed with his ability to dangle and make things happen. Get a look as he hauls the player to the ice, and then the player that he takes to the ice slides right underneath Bruciano and takes his feet from underneath him. Faceoff does come outside the blue line. Good opportunity here for the Hawks. A power play that we talked about a little bit earlier, 4 for 19, coming into tonight's game in their last 3 games played.
King puts the puck back at the net. Wojciech now over the far side to Francis. Comes back towards the blue line area. Earhart has the puck. Gets it back again. As he dishes it off. Wojciech parked in front. Couldn't get his stick on it, and it comes out to center ice. This player with the puck, Travis Earhart, his goal last week was the first goal by a Winterhawk defenseman since February the 3rd. The first goal by a Winterhawk defenseman since February.
Yeah, I had a stretch of 48 games that they went without a goal. It might have obviously been longer than that.
That's unbelievable.
Got to get some production from your back end.
Well, that's the cliche you always hear. Get some production from the back.
Well, you know,
in Portland's case, it's really pronounced.
Earhart last year, to his credit, in Moose Jaw, did have 29 assists. And, you know, he's still a young kid. He's 18 from Calgary, and he was in that Fraser McLaren trade. Excellent skater, excellent speed, and we talked about him at the beginning of the show tonight, a quarterback on the power play, but they got to get something from the back.
And by the way, the previous goal, that was into an empty net. That was Scott Gabriel.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, it goes all the way back. The last guy to beat a goalie goal was somebody who beat Carey Price, so whoever it was did a nice job. Here's Montgomery coming out of his own zone with 25 seconds to go in this power play. They send it in deep. Miles McRae first to it on the backboards. He plays it to Shen, who backhands it around these boards, and it goes down the ice with just 17 seconds left in the power play for the Winterhawks. Montgomery going back to get the puck. He's being watched by Cody Almond. Cody already in his third year. He had 43 points last year, Cody Almond. He was the leading Kelowna Rocket. There wasn't much offense from Kelowna last year either. Almond's 43 points led the way. They'll have a lot better stats this year on that, as you see their goaltender Jung frees the puck.
Well, you see Victor Schodin fourth in scoring, as you will here in a minute for the Winterhawk team. The kid right over there, he is a 19-year-old from Sweden. Dan, he's a very un-Swedish player. This kid finishes checks. Nashville scout in Europe said that the kid right there, he never came away from a game that he didn't make an impression on him. And he was drafted by Nashville. Part of that connection was Brent Peterson, who's an assistant coach in Nashville, former Portland Winterhawk coach. But I like Schodin a lot. He's tough.
There's not many former Portland Winterhawk coaches. I think Crom's the fifth one in team history. Ken Hodge, of course, coached this team for years and years and years and years. He's still the general manager of the Portland Winterhawks. Long lead pass. Detner giving chase. Shen back there for Portland. It is Jacob Dietrich trying to work it in front. Could not. Shen with good possession, but he couldn't get it out of his own zone. Nick Dietrich breaks it up. Waiting for somebody to join him as the defensemen were making a change. There was nobody at the point to play it to. Not that time, but Colin Long intercepts that point pass and sends it back into Portland territories. We passed the 5-minute mark here, the second period. 1-0 Kelowna, leading Portland on the late first period shorthanded goal by Miles McRae. Brian Kerr trying to break that one up. It's shot back into Winterhawk territory. Goaltender White leaving it back of the net.
And there's also a pretty passive forecheck there for the Kelowna Rockets.
Here's Dietrich, Jacob Dietrich, but it's offside at the Kelowna line.
You mentioned Richie Crom, 43 years old. He's only the fifth head coach in the Winterhawk history. Played 2 years in Portland. He was a captain of the 83 Memorial Cup Championship team. And boy, that was a team of a few loose cannons, so he knew how to lead a team. His father was Bobby Crum, coached the Winnipeg Jets of the World Hockey Association at that time, and the Detroit Red Wings. You just, you know, when you got a team that's won so few games, you do a lot of praying, and the only problem is the answer is almost always no.
Meantime, Kelowna trying to make that pass from the corner in front of the net. Lots of bodies there to block that shot. Cody Allman into the corner for McMillan. Back to Allman. Lucas Bludoff now. Fights off a check, plays it to the line, and it's off the face mask of the defenseman standing in front. It hit Ryan Kerr up high into the visor area. And a good thing for those visors. Kerr none the worse for wear, chasing the puck, but he couldn't get it, and they're sending pass. Allman tips it right on. Rebound, a shot, and that stopped. And again, the Portland defenseman takes the worst of it. This is not Kerr this time. I think it's Gabriel who blocks that shot, plus penalties afterwards, as we get some emotion in this game, maybe for the first time.
You could almost hear that one shot from up here hit the Portland Winterhawk player in the visor area up on the helmet. You get a look at Ryan Kerr, guy that came over from Lethbridge. Maybe we can have a look at this as you see the hit, the puck, and then as that play continues, credit the Kelowna Rockets for not giving up on the play, staying with it. Kind of, you see that puck go end over end, and when that thing goes end over end like that, if you're a defenseman like Ryan Kerr right there, it's like a knuckleball. You can't really get your hand up properly to you know, to defend it, to stop it, and doink it, bangs him right off the head.
Penalty on the play. Cody Allman gets 2 minutes for slashing. So Portland's going to have another power play here, their third of the hockey game.
And here's how that happened as we get traffic in front of the net. There's Allman right there. Good coverage by the Hawks, but they skate right past that puck as it comes out. A lot of traffic in front of the net, and the player down on the ice is a result of the Cody Allman slash, and it's a power play again for the Winterhawks.
Right, you saw it on that replay pretty nicely. Allman hacking down Gabriel. Allman just back in the lineup after serving a 2-game suspension. Bobby from the blue line. Now the shot whistling wide from Earhart and off the lively boards here in Kelowna all the way back into Portland territory. So back to get it will be Travis Bobby, the only plus player on the Portland team. He's +1. Oh, do the plus minuses take a beating? I know Bill was talking about Chodine last year at 13 goals. He was -32. Francis had 9 goals. He was -40. Minus. Lots of those. But the scouts obviously see through that, Bill. They obviously recognize, you know, the type of team they're on, and they can still pick these players out.
This is a guy that we like so much improvement. Lucas Bludoff, 18 years old, 6'2", 215 pounds, and man, can he skate. What acceleration to get by the Kamloops player there to make that play, and he's got such great hand skills. You see him just about deflect that puck in the crease area, and he loves the physical play. Watch this. Not only is he done hacking and banging around the front of the net area, that's Mike Gauthier. He says, I'll go with you, and that was a pretty good scrap ensued right after that. Lucas Bludoff, terrific, and he's on the ice right now, killing a penalty.
Looked like you and I yesterday trying to choose the restaurant.
Well, we just arm wrestle, and you lose every time.
Most times. 98 games played, by the way, for Lucas Bludoff. So with experience comes more of a presence in the league for a lot of players, and that's seemingly the case with Lucas. Here's Earhart on the power play. Long shot, tips over top of the net. 48 seconds to go in this man advantage. Jodine come back at the goal, takes a hit from Shin after he made the play. Earhart from the line gets it to Swiston, gets a little room, takes a shot. There's a rebound. It's sitting in the crease, and then it's poked away, and there's going to be a penalty as well. I'm not sure who's getting it. It may be a Portland penalty, but that was maybe Portland's best scoring opportunity of the hockey game.
Dan, there is a defensive play in front of the net that is absolutely sensational. Colin Bowman, watch it. He's in front. He's 2 in front of the net. Watch 2 black. Watch him battle for this puck. It's in his skates, and he clears it to his stick and gets it away from the front of the net. And that's when the penalty happens after that. Boy, that is terrific play. Who gets the penalty? Was that Bowman? Shen on that play.
For cross-checking right in front of that net. His bodies were flying. So a 2-man advantage here for over a half a minute. And Portland with a golden opportunity to tie this hockey game. Let's see how they do. Gabriel to Earhart. There's a pass in front. That's intercepted. Now it is Bobby. Earhart moves in, passes it hard, too hard to handle. Wojciech. Now Bobby gets the puck back. It's Wojciech trying to finesse it inside the soft spot there for somebody to whack at it. First penalty is over. Earhart takes a long shot off the boards. Wojciech throws it back in front of the net, comes back to the line, and it's forced out by Kelowna. First penalty over. This is now the 4th power play of the hockey game for the Winterhawks. And their power play percentage not improving so far. It was 8.5% heading into tonight's game. And they're getting quite a few opportunities. Lucas Bludoff on a 3-on-2 short-handed, but Joe's heading to the bench on a line change, so it's a 2-on-2. Bludoff trying to put it in front for McRae. And now it is controlled by Velchar. Radim Velchar is their other Euro from the Czech Republic. We mentioned Chodine earlier from Sweden. Velchar wearing jersey number 20 out there. He's an 18-year-old in his first year. And with a half minute to go in the power play, Winterhawks will send it in deep, and Velchar will give chase back to the net. Tries to use his body to shield off Evan Bludoff. Velchar in there, so is Jacob Dietrich. Jacob Dietrich gets it free. Here's a chance in the slot area, but Kerr couldn't pull the trigger. Another shot that either hit Jung or the side of the net. Barry's lost his stick out there, so it's not officially a 5-on-3, but Barry doesn't have a stick. Kelowna, can they get it out? Nope. Jacob Dietrich's in front. Barry puts his body down to block the pass nicely, and it rolls finally to Jung, who freezes it and holds on.
One thing about the Rocket team so far in this game tonight, Dan, they have been really tested in front of their own net. And I think Ryan Huska is going to be pretty happy with the play of his team in that paint area defensively. They've been really good. There's been some solid battles in the paint. You know, they failed to get it out, but again, the Winterhawks do a great job of getting it to this zone right there. Look at that block by Barry, and then good position in front of the net by Kelowna to make sure that there isn't anybody going for the rebound.
Kelowna back at full strength. Here's a long lead pass for Long, and he hit the post. Long going to the far side, hits the goal post, and the score remains 1-0. Same time. Here comes Portland. Francis tipping the puck in, giving chase. Colin Joe with his good speed gets there first. Bowman knocks it off the boards, and out to center it goes. Still 1-0 for Kelowna. As that puck is flipped out of play, there'll be a penalty on that for sure. Kelowna will have a power play when we come back. The Rockets lead the Winterhawks 1-0. It's the Western Hockey League. Here's Lung hitting the post. Western Hockey League on Shaw.
And welcome back. We're with the coach of the Portland Winterhawks. Richard, your thoughts on the first 30 minutes?
Well, I think we're starting to come a little bit now. We had a little bit of momentum off that power play. We had a couple of chances, but certainly we need to get better and play with a lot more intensity, a lot more energy.
Is it fair to say the lads are a little bit tense on the power play?
I think so. I think, we're obviously it's a big game and a real important game, and we had some opportunities, but we certainly haven't had the momentum or the puck possession that we wanted on our power play so far.
But you're only down 1-0 to the high-flying Rockets, so you got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, we're right there, and Whitey's been really good so far, keeping us in it, and we just have to get better.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Former captain of the Winterhawks, the '83 Memorial Cup team. He had 35 goals that year, Richard Crum did. Went on to play in the NHL with Calgary and the Islanders as that puck knocked down with a high stick. Kelowna going to their second power play of the hockey game.
We talked so much about Tyson Barrie as a 16-year-old. How creative is this kid offensively? Well, you knew it was going to happen. I'll tell you why. Last year, playing AAA midget in Victoria, he had 130 points in 72 games played, as you see what he's done this year. By the way, all of those 5 goals you saw in there, all of them are power play goals, and it is a power play for the Rockets in a 1-0 lead.
And it is Barry that flips the puck in. Lucas Bluda will give chase back at the net. Colin Long up there and Jamie Benn. That's the forward line. Shin and Barry, the point men here for the Rockets. Winterhawks intercept, but a good job by Barry to keep it in. Betker couldn't get it out. Lucas Bludoff gets a lot of room back there to work. Back for Shin. Barry over to Long. And last night they whipped it around so nicely. Barry, all season long they've been doing that, but on our Shaw telecast we saw it firsthand. Barry moving in, takes the shot. That's knocked down by goaltender White. Long working off these half boards, does feed it back to Barry. He's the quarterback on the power play. They try to feed him all the time, see what he could set up. This time he goes over to Long, nothing doing there. Barry again, quickly passes it to Shin. Long shot. Wow, it's not that long a shot. It was just inside the circle, but it was off the target. Long again, shooting, scores! Another goal for this season. It's his 12th of the year on the power play, and it's 2-0 Rockets.
So much of the reason this puck stays in the offensive zone is Tyson Barrie. Not a huge pass to make that puck put it on Long stick, but what a nice job. Bludoff in front of the net. Remember, Bludoff is 6'2", 217 pounds, and not only can he skate, Dan, when he takes up position in front of the net, he's a pretty good strain. And Long used him perfectly there to give this Rocket team a 2-0 lead.
Long has only been held off the score sheet 6 times this season, so he's back on it again. I mentioned it's his 12th of the year. Last year he had 11, so he just surpassed last year's total. Barry and Shen the assists at 11:52.
Yeah, we get one more good look at it. Look at it. He's looking. He looks off where he's going with a pass. He's like a quarterback, and we talk about guys being the quarterback. You see Bludoff in front, terrific position. He looks off where he's going to pass it and then makes sure that he gets it to the guy that you least expect it to go to.
So it's an uphill battle for Portland, but they've been here before. Down 2-0 on the road. And we'll see if they can fight back and get into this game. First they have to gain the line. They're unable to do that. Gabriel's chased back. And he'll play across ice. 7.5 minutes to go here in the second period as Kerr gets it to the Kelowna line. Following it up there is Betker. From the deep slot, a backhand goes wide of the net. And a hit into the boards as Joe takes out his man. Dietrich was hit, and Miles McRae sends it down the ice. Goaltender way out because Kelowna's on a change. Nick Dietrich, he's squeezed out of the play. Evan Bludoff gets it back to the net. Bowman can't hold it in. Schen's going to chase it down. Can he get there first for Kelowna? Yes, he does. As he plays it over to that corner. Rasika in there for Portland. Evan Bludoff chips it away, and away they go. A potential 2-on-1, but good job by Montgomery to hustle over there to break that up, and it leads to this rush. King gets it off to the corner, and a good chance there for Francis. They're banging at the puck. A big scramble, and it's still loose, and finally a whistle, and then some pushing and shoving afterwards. And that all started with Montgomery at the back end breaking up a play, and it led to a rush, and it's led to this skirmish, Bill.
Yeah, that's good transition. I thought Montgomery, you know, he had his left defensive partner pinch. And sometimes when you pinch in and you don't make a good choice, your timing is off. Obviously, it's very easy to chip that puck out off the boards. And I thought that the Rockets came out of there at that end really good. It was turned over real nicely by the playing Montgomery. Gets it wide. That's going to the net. Once they get it in that area, it hasn't been often that the Winterhawks have been able to establish that kind of pressure around the net. That's a good play by Jung to make that save, and he's got all kinds of traffic in his crease area. One of the things a goaltender you look for, Dan, is how poised is he when there's people scrambling and banging for the puck at the top of the crease area. It's important for a goaltender there not to panic, to just stay calm, even though all this is happening around you. Jung did a nice job there.
Well, we have offsetting minor penalties on the play as Shen goes to the box with Jason Rasika. Jason's from British Columbia, from Surrey. Here's Barry on the 4-on-4, throwing it right into the goal crease area. They get 2 minutes each for roughing as Colin Joe gets the puck, plays it up to the neutral zone. There's a cross-ice pass to Barry. The other defenseman's right in front of the net. That's Joe, and he tips it just wide of the goal. I'm just amazed he only has 2 goals, Bill, in his whole life in the Western Hockey League, because Joe is not a guy who just stays at home.
Yeah, he's got a nose for the goal. You're right. There was a lot of pressure put on Joe when even they gave him number 7, Josh George's numbers, and I think a lot of people talk about it might have hurt him a little bit. Really? But he has got skill. He's got quickness. He's got a ton of talent. Boy, that was a great feed by Barry to Joe, wasn't it? Oh, you love to watch these guys move the puck that well.
Still a minute to go in this 4-on-4 situation. Cody Allman waiting for the puck on the half boards, but Swiston for a moment took it off his stick. Ends up back at the goal. Myers takes his guy out. Tyler Swiston had 12 goals last year for that Medicine Hat Tiger team that went all the way to the Memorial Cup. Ben giving chase. Gabriel lining him up in the corner. Puck squirts free to Kerr. Kerr gets it out here to Velchar. Velchar for the Winterhawks. Chase back is Swiston, and he plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Rockets break up that rim around the boards. Pretty passive play around the boards by Portland. But it is forced out. Joe puts it right back in again. 4.5 minutes to go in the period. Just 5 seconds left in these offsetting minor penalties. So Shen and Grasika getting set to come back on, and the teams return to full strength. Meantime, Kerr shoots it in, gives chase himself. Goaltender Jung plays it around the boards. And out it comes to the neutral zone, and there's a hit on Evan Bludoff, and again it's Montgomery. He's probably been the best Portland player on the ice. Number 2, Montgomery for Portland in the corner again. Evan Bludoff trying to take him off the puck. squirts free finally. And it's Chris Francis with it. Chris Francis is from Las Vegas, Nevada. Not many Las Vegas players have made their way to the Western Hockey League.
Well, let me tell you how you get from Las Vegas to the Western Hockey League. You score 185 points in 71 games played.
A few ex-Western Leaguers get to Las Vegas somehow later.
Oh, yeah.
Former Medicine Hat player recently won a poker tournament, not in Vegas.
$410,000. Who was that again?
Just trying to think of his name. I thought you would have that.
Oh,
You're right on that. Don't you watch all the poker late at night?
Yeah.
Here's Barry going in hard, right in on goal, passes it off. Oh, what a great play. Just not quite finished off. That's Brandon McMillan, who just couldn't quite. He should have known Barry was going to pass it to him. Although everybody in the building might have thought Barry was going to shoot, but he likes to pass. Here's Montgomery again, going in, shooting it. And this time we see some offense from Montgomery, and Jung makes that save. A delayed penalty coming up here. And the back official is calling something. It looks like a cross-check will be the infraction.
You like Tyson Berry, watch this. He knows where he's going with that puck. How does he put that puck right between the stick and the skates, and Colin Joe with a beautiful deflection with his back to the goaltender? Is he a good passer? Well, he's a pretty good skater. Explodes, absolutely explodes between two defensemen, and then throws it to the front of the net there. Sometimes you'd like him to be maybe a little more selfish and shoot that puck instead of passing it to Brandon McMillan the way he did. But Tyson Berry is worth the price of. I would say that about a lot of 16-year-olds, Dan. But if you paid 15 or 20 bucks to watch a good hockey player, you'll get your money's worth on him, I think.
So it's another power play for Kelowna. It's their third of the night. They have a shorthanded goal, and they have a power play goal in this game, leading 2-0. Long has the power play goal right from that spot. That one's blocked. The rebound is stopped by the Portland goaltender, Jordan White.
Now, you look at the Shens and you look at the Myers draft prospects for this year, and you know that Barry will be next year. And I've talked to National Hockey League scouts about, what goes through their minds. And they say there's basically two rules that they follow. Number one, project future performance, and you don't reward current performance. And number two, real quick, separate yourself from all the hype surrounding the guy.
Shen from the blue line has that shot sail wide of the net. Long, lots of room. They'll come off the boards to Shen. Stopped, and where is it? The Winterhawks jump on it and shoot it down the ice, but the puck was sitting there at the side of the net, and Lucas Bludoff slams his stick as he goes to the bench because he thinks he could have got his stick on that one and made it 3-0. Long brings it in. McRae with them. Barry from the line, holding it in. Still just under a minute to work with on this power play, so lots of time. Long again off these half boards. Has that pass poked away, but Shen throws it right into the slot area. Nobody there. Ben now gets it. Jamie Ben back for Barry. Barry, low shot, deflects, rebound. Oh, and White makes a pretty good save. That first one was a good save. There's going to be another Portland penalty here. It's going to be a 5-on-3. Barry takes a long shot wide. Rebound, score! Miles McRae scores a power play goal. 3-0 Kelowna.
Tonight, the Kelowna Rockets are playing, in my opinion, a very patient game, and they are taking what's given to them. If you're going to make mistakes in covering, if you're going to put them on the power play, you're going to pay for it. There's a shot. That puck was rolling as the shot came from the point, and as it went off that back wall, McRae got the rebound. That was a shot from Barry. And Miles McRae, and we've talked about this before, McRae with 5 goals in the preseason. 2 years in a row, went on to get 14 last year. This year, I believe this is his 4th, as he took a pretty hard whack after he put that puck in the net.
It is his 2nd of the night, his 3rd this weekend, his 4th of the season, and it comes at 18:48. There's also going to be a Portland penalty on the play because it was a delayed penalty, and when there is a delayed penalty and you're already shorthanded, that 2 minutes will go on the clock, so Kelowna will go back to a power play.
Well, take a look at what happens to McRae after this shot from Barry. deflects off the back wall. McRae just whacks at it. Follow it. He gets a shot to the stomach is what it looks like by Scott Gabriel. And Scott Gabriel's a guy, where is it? Yeah, it's Scott Gabriel right there. You know what, that might have been embellished a little bit, Dan. Gabriel leads his team in penalty minutes. Been around the league a couple of years
on the
now.
clock.
I don't think McRae's too worse for wear with that. I mean, he went down hard. He went down like he was shot.
There's your scoreboard, and then there's the power play up on the board. Mentioned guys have been around. There's Keith Wojtachuk in this lineup, who's played for Vancouver, Tri-Cities, Chilliwack, and Moose Jaw. And his mom has been said, I'm afraid to buy a jersey because every time I buy a jersey, he gets moved on to another team.
I guess.
Shen again for the line off the post. Long, hard shot by Shen hits the goal post, so that's the second post tonight for Kelowna. They're announcing the McRae goal. Barry got the first assist. Long gets the second assist. And then the penalties came afterwards. 3 players went to the box, but it ends up being a Kelowna power play on the penalty that was in effect when the puck went in. Lucas Bludov giving chase, and then he ran slightly into the goaltender. And the referee will call that a goalie interference penalty, but I'm not sure what the Kelowna Rocket player could have done about that when the goalie comes that far out. What's your thoughts on that, Bill?
He's got to make that call. He has no choice but to. I don't care what the fans say. If you let that, Dan, the problem with that is that if you let it go, players will take it into their own hands. And that's from a referee standpoint, they'll say, wait a minute, if I don't call this, somebody on the ice is going to get even with that. And I think it's just a way to keep the lid on things. We'll play 4-on-4 here for a minute 13 or less with 24.8 seconds left in the period.
And the Rockets win the ensuing faceoff and have a 2-on-1 lead here in the period. McMillan moving in, holding, passing, just off the target as Miles McRae was looking for a hat trick goal there. Oh, that would be some kind of hat trick. He would have had a shorthanded goal, a power play goal, and a 4-on-4 goal had that one gone in. And he's got another chance here, but will the time expire before he gets his shot away? It does, and he loses his stick anyway, and the period comes to an end with the Rockets scoring twice in that period to extend their lead to 3-0. Kelowna 3, Portland 0, as we send it back to Dan Elliott at WHL Central.
All right, thanks, guys. Coming up in between periods, Winterhawks radio play-by-play man Andy Kemper will join me from Prospera Place to go inside the WHL. Portland D-man Travis Earhart will be our intermission guest. Plus, the Calgary Hitmen are all decked out for this year's Teddy Bear Toss. That's next, along with highlights and analysis after a quick break. You're watching Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw. Welcome back to WHL Central here in Vancouver. We are through 2 periods of play between the Rockets and Winterhawks. Time now to go inside the WHL. And joining me this evening is the voice of the Portland Winterhawks, radio play-by-play man Andy Kemper. Great to have you here, Andy. Now let's get started. It's been an interesting season so far for the Hawks. Clearly, it is a rebuilding year. In fact, only 6 players on the roster were with the team at this time last year. What do you think of the direction this team is going?
Well, Dan, you know, it's been a tough year and a half for the Winterhawks. I mean, when you only win 17 games last year and so far this season we've only won 5, there's definitely some things that needed to be changed with the organization as far as the direction the team was going on the ice. And, you know, losing sometimes breeds a losing attitude, and I think that was perpetrating the locker room a little bit. So Ken Hodge and the ownership group of the Winterhawks decided to make a couple trades, bring in some new players, some new blood, and it's definitely changed the outlook of the team and the attitude of the team. And, you know, winning 2 out of our last 3 has been great for the team, and hopefully this new direction will carry over and we'll be a lot more competitive in the second half of the season.
Andy, has management given a time frame in which they hope to turn things around?
They haven't set a specific time frame down. They were going into this year hoping to be able to contend for that for a playoff spot at the 7th or 8th seed, and obviously where we're at right now, it's going to be very tough to get there with the quality of play in the Western Conference. But you never know what can happen. Next year, I think they're kind of building towards at least you know, being a playoff team. And as we all know, once you get to the postseason, anything can happen.
In your mind, is there one specific player they can build around?
I'd say there's more than one. There's obviously you look at Curtis Muka in net. He's an 18-year-old goaltender this year who's who's in the top 5 in save percentage, even though his goals against is 3.41. He's facing a ton of shots every night. He's a guy that you can build your team around. And then a couple defensemen who got in the trades, Travis Earhart, an 18-year-old defender who came from Moose Jaw, and Travis Bobby, a 17-year-old from Lethbridge, are two guys that are very skilled, can carry the puck out of their own end, get shots, create opportunities in the power play. Those are two guys that were key to Portland making those trades and bringing them in to help build the offense that the Winterhawks were lacking early on.
Moving on, Andy, Portland was the last U.S. team to win a WHL championship. Now, considering the strength of the division this year, what do you think the odds of a U.S. team winning are?
I think the U.S. has a great chance. It's just their top two teams right now, Spokane and Tri-Cities, are playing incredible hockey. Tri-Cities took advantage of a pretty favorable schedule here in the early half. They played 9 out of 10 on the road to start and 15 out of their next 16 at home. And they won 13 of those 16 games at home, so it helped build them up. But the team to beat right now is Spokane. I was asked before the start of the season who I thought would be a team coming out of the West. And I said if Spokane got the goaltending, they'd be there. And they're getting that right now. Dustin Tokarski and Kevin Armstrong are number 1 and number 2 going into this weekend in save percentage. And they're splitting the time equally. And, they got enough offensive skill. They got some great defense. They probably have the best 16-year-old player in the league in Jared Cowan on defense. So Spokane could be a team that comes out of not only the Western Conference, but out of the Western Hockey League and represent the league in Kitchener in the Memorial Cup.
Sticking with the Chiefs, I want to specifically ask you about one of their forwards, Drayson Bowman, who has won back-to-back WHL Player of the Week awards. He's got 25 points in his last 12 games. For those who have no idea who this guy is, tell us why you think he's so good.
Drayson Bowman is just the complete hockey player. He's a guy that came out of Colorado and played his midget hockey in BC for the North Shore Winter Club, and then played also in Kimberley. And then he's a guy that just seems to know where the puck is going to be and finds those open seams and get into the scoring lanes and get shots on net. And he's a guy that if every team had a player like Drayson Bowman, they would just be ecstatic. And then put together with the line he's on with 17-year-old forward Mitch Wall, another U.S.-born kid out of California, who's just an incredible offensive talent. Then they put in the 20-year-old overage Chris Bruton with them, and Bruton is a guy goes to the front of the net, just creates havoc in the crease area, frees up time and space for Bowman and Wall to do their magic, and they're just a dominant forward line, maybe the best line in the Western Hockey League right now.
Thanks again for doing this, Andy. We'll see you once again throughout the season.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Anytime.
All right, we need to take a quick timeout, but up next, the Calgary Hitmen get in the festive spirit for their annual teddy bear toss. You're watching Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw. Yes, that is snow here in Vancouver. Welcome back to WHL Central. We got ourselves a 3-0 game after 2 periods of play. The Kelowna Rockets lead the Portland Winterhawks. Miles McRae has got 2 goals, give him 4 on the season. Colin Long, a goal and assist, and Luke Shen has 2 assists as Kelowna has outshot Portland 25-12 through 40 minutes. Now back we go to Prospera Place, where Tim Morton is standing by with Winterhawks defenseman Travis Earhart.
Travis, what's been the difference tonight? Is it as simple to say special teams?
It's not that simple. Like, they have a good special teams. They got some guys who can shoot the puck, but right now we're just getting trapped in our zone for minutes at a time. It's just tiring us out.
This team needs production from the back end. And you're a guy, you got 5 goals already this year. Can they count on you to be providing that offense?
Well, I hope so. Like, somebody's got to take over the game, and hopefully I can put something towards the net, and maybe it'll go in.
What are you guys going to be talking about in the dressing room after this period?
Just to get on them. We're getting outshot pretty bad right now, and we just got to start shooting on their goalie, and hopefully we'll get some traffic in front of them, and something might get tipped in.
All right, thanks, Travis.
Yep.
Travis and his teammates have their work cut out for him. Portland is 0-15 when trailing after 2 periods.
All right, thanks, Tim. Last night, the Lethbridge Hurricanes set a CHL and actually a world record with their annual teddy bear toss. Canes fans threw, listen to this, 22,736 stuffed animals to the ice. They broke the previous record held by the Calgary Hitmen. However, Calgary fans will get their chance tomorrow afternoon when the Hitmen host their 13th annual teddy bear toss. And to get everybody in the spirit, the club has designed a special 3rd jersey. John Henderson has the details.
Hitman jumping on a loose puck. Here's Ryan White, left circle, Danzero back in front. White, he scores! Mr. Teddy Bear is Ryan White.
Last year, Ryan White scored the goal that sent over 15,500 teddy bears and other related furry friends icebound at the Saddle Dome. This year, White and his teammates will wear special teddy bear toss jerseys for the game on December 2nd, and fans can bid on the sweaters afterwards, with proceeds again going to charity. But Ryan White, a.k.a. Teddy Bear Boy, says, hey, just the game itself and the furry missile attack is always something he'll remember.
Oh yeah, you've seen them come down. It's like they're raining out there, so it's unbelievable. You kind of sit there in awe for a few minutes, and you try and get to the bench and get some shelter. So, it's an exciting thing, and it's a lot of fun.
What about the experience the next day when you get to take some bears to Children's Hospital? I suggest that stays with you a while. Eh?
Yeah, definitely. It kind of brings you down to earth for a day, and we're flying pretty high here and living the life, and you go there and just a simple teddy bear and a hug and a little bit of a talk brings a smile to a kid's face, and it's just a lot of fun for us to go in there and talk to those guys and just try and lighten up their day a little bit.
While White holds current bragging rights, teammate Carson McMillan, who's entering his third teddy bear toss, is showing a nice scoring touch this year and says he'd love to get a goal to bring down the Bears.
It's just it's a good feeling, 14,000 bears coming down to you is pretty cool, and it's just a big waterfall of teddy bears coming at you, and it's pretty cool.
So you're having a good year. What would it be like if you were the guy this time, if you were the teddy bear guy?
It'd be good. A little bit of bragging rights in the room, but let's just hope for the win.
In addition to the special jerseys for the Hitman players, the team has also introduced a teddy bear t-shirt that fans can buy as a memento, again with proceeds to charity. So with this chance that all young people who should find something under their tree this Christmas hopefully will, snow or not, it'll still be, as last year's Teddy Bear Boy might say, truly a white Christmas.
Thanks, John. All right, 9 other games tonight. Kootenay was a 4-3 winner in a shootout over Regina. Dustin Sylvester had the shootout winner. The Ice have won 10 of their last 11. Former Moose Jaw Warrior Fraser McLaren had the winning goal as Moose Jaw defeated Prince Albert, former Portland Winterhawks, yeah, of course. It was Brandon doubling up with current 4-2. Braden Shen, the rookie, he continues to roll along. He's got 12 goals on the season. Edmonton, a 2-1 lead over Saskatoon. That game in the third period. The Blades, they have the worst road record in the entire league. Elsewhere, it's Red Deer up 3-1 on the Prince George Cougars. That game in the third period. The Medicine Hat Tigers lead Spokane 4-3 in the third. Dane Todd has got a goal and 2 assists. It is Chilliwack up 4-1 on Kamloops. Moeller and Santorella each with a goal and assist. Tri-City up 3-2 on Seattle. Colton Yellowhorn has got a pair of goals in this one. Cruz Reddick with 3 assists. And it is Vancouver hammering Everett 6-0. Evander Kane has got 2 goals to lead the way. Vancouver out shooting Everett 29-7 through 2 periods of play. All right, time to check back in with Dan and Bill, who have all the highlights through 2 periods of play. Got guys, you want to take this one away?
WHL, the leading supplier of hockey scholarships in Western Canada. 70% of Canada West hockey players are WHL grads using Western Hockey League scholarships. The WHL, guaranteed scholarships and world-class hockey.
All right, always forget about the promo. All right, time now to go back to Cross the Bear, place where Dan and Bill are standing by with more. Guys?
Thank you very much, Dan. The Rockets are leading by 3, but they've lost 2 players, I should point out. Dozak and St. Dennis out of this game through injury. We'll try to get a report on those guys. But meantime, Bill, one of the things that you've been impressed with by Kelowna, not so much their offense, we know that's there, but their defensive play.
Well, we know they can score. We've talked about that before. 7 goals last night, 7 goals 2 games ago. How well can they defend? You can't simulate game conditions in practice. So you got a Portland team on the power play. Watch the front of the net. Are they able to get to the point? Are they able to challenge the box to make sure the point people be able to get it out? Colin Jones had himself a good physical game. Moves that puck to the outside there. I like this play around the front of the net. There's good boxing out. Shen is in there. There's Bowman in there. They don't let the Winterhawks get to that puck. And as I say, you can practice that from now till the cows come home. You can't simulate it in a game. But there's a good look-off pass. That's a shot by Long. It's a power play goal. Now there's another power play goal coming up here. Again, I think what's happening here, McCray goes to the net, takes it off the back wall. Then I said this during the game, I love the way the the Kelowna Rockets are patient. They're just taking, literally taking what the Portland Winterhawks are giving them and making them pay for it.
And what they've given them in that period were 2 goals. Colin Long early and the power play, and Miles McRae later in the period on the power play. So it's 3-0 after 2 periods of play, and not everybody's staying awake yet here tonight in Kelowna. Wow, that's pretty nice. She'll wake up for the 3rd period, I'm sure. We're back with that on Shaw right after this. Welcome back to Kelowna, the Western Hockey League, part of the CHL. There's your top 10 this week. Spokane, Tri-Cities, Vancouver, and Calgary all cracking the top 10.
You know what's interesting about that graphic right there? The biggest rivalry in the Western Hockey League, an argument can be made for it being Spokane and Tri-City, and they're both 2 of the top 4 teams. Kitchener hosting the Memorial Cup this year. No surprise to see them up there. They're going to be a tough host.
Dan Russell along with Bill Wilms and the Shaw crew are special hello to Comcast viewers watching in Portland tonight. And by the way, for the viewers in Portland, next Friday is Veterans Night at the Memorial Coliseum. I think this is great. They're letting all the vets into the game for free, family members for $5. Plus, I'm told it's Comcast Hockey Puck Night. The first 2,000 kids in the building receive free official Winterhawk pucks, courtesy of our good friends at Comcast. Don't throw them on the ice, though. Curtis Mook has faced enough pucks this year. Don't throw them on the ice, at least till the end of the game. And the players are in the dressing room, and it's all safe to do just that.
They had a screw-up somewhere, I think, in the league where they threw the teddy bears on and... Oh, there's a good try. Much too soon, and, the goal was waved off or something. You got to be careful. You got to pay attention.
Oh, then you get a big long delay. By the way, it's 4-on-4 as we start this period. And here's a 2-on-1 for Portland. Dietrich getting over the line, and his pass just out of the reach of Merriman. And there's a hard hit. Montgomery on the other end of that one. And Long now gives chase. Meantime, Portland on a power play for the next 40 seconds here. It's their 5th of the hockey game. And it goes without saying they could use a power play goal right about now. Or any other kind of goal.
Inject a little life into this hockey club. The problem is Portland's only scored 9 goals in the 3rd period. 25 third periods of hockey, and you only score 9 times. Not a good sign.
Well, they've been outscored a lot in their last couple of seasons. So they're used to coming from behind, or at least playing from behind. They don't come from behind all that much. See if something can happen here tonight. Meantime, that penalty has come to an end. Portland's power play officially 0 for 5 tonight. But here's a chance right after the power play as they come up from back of the net. That was Velchar with a little bit of a move off the end boards. Now Montgomery plays it over here to Earhart. He'll wind up and take that shot right on. He got that puck through. Winterhawks jumping on the rebound. Swiston trying to fight off a check. And it comes out here to Earhart. That puck goes down the ice, no icing. Myers with possession. He'll start back for Kelowna. That pass over on the far side finally ends up on McMillan's stick. A little bit of a give and go. There's the give, but the go didn't get back as he was waiting for Ullman to try to find a way to feed it back into the slot area. Now Ullman again. Lucas Bludoff this time deep in the slot. There's another pass in front of the net for McMillan, who just peeled off a check and got himself into a opening there, but put the puck wide of the net on the deflection. Jen plays it around the boards, goes all the way down the ice on the fresh ice, and this will be icing on Kelowna.
Strauss Herb WHL on Shaw is brought to you by the Strauss Herb Company of Products. Trust the tradition.
2:47 into this period. This building, by the way, sold out every night. They leave some tickets available for game day sales, and they're scooped up. They could sell out on season tickets alone, but they always keep at least 1,000 seats every year for the people who would like to get in on single game tickets. But every night, this place is jammed. And even last year during a rebuilding season, very supportive crowd here in Kelowna, and that patience quickly pays off. Some teams don't turn around this quickly, Bill.
No, they did a great job. That experience is so tough to come by.
Joe takes that long shot. That bounces down. Evan Bludoff. Now for Allman. Barry able to keep the puck in. Evan Bludoff in the corner, can't reach it. It goes over there for Gabriel. And he dishes it out to center with some speed. Here's Jacob Dietrich going in hard. Can't find room, but there's a drop pass and a shot on goal by Earhart. He didn't get all the wood on it he wanted to. That was a pretty good scoring opportunity, and Earhart with his 5 goals this season. Most of them with Moose Jaw. Almost had another one there. Here comes Barry. Barry takes a shot that's knocked down, and we've got a penalty on this play as well.
There's been a couple passes that the Rockets have made. You see the call on the slash in the last minute and a half here, folks, where, boy, you expose a player when you make that pass. There's the call. There's the penalty. Myers earlier made a pass up that left wing that you make that pass in the National Hockey League, that guy will come right back to you. Your teammate will say, don't you ever throw that puck to me when I'm 5 feet from being killed on that play. Keith Wojciechuk with the slash. Kelowna Rockets back on the power play. They have scored a shorthanded goal and 2 power play goals tonight. McRae with a shorty and a power play goal.
And here's a chance for another one. McMillan takes that shot, and that deflects wide of the target. I think that hit Shodin on the way. McMillan plays it to Barry. Long has it. Back towards the point, but it went between the 2-point men, so that's why the Rockets have to come out of their own zone. Barry almost lost it, gets it back again. Long, Lucas Bludoff, and Jamie Benn up front on this power play as the Winterhawks intercept and shoot it down the ice. This is the 5th power play of the night for Kelowna. They're 2 for 4 with the man advantage. Long, taken down. He was already off balance, and then he was finished off there by Gabriel. Long pops up, and the puck stays in. McMillan gets it back for Long, goes off his skates. He now retrieves possession in this corner, and he plays it back towards McMillan. Now over to Barry. Now to McMillan. Long. McMillan, traffic in front of the net, put the puck way out here, and that pass easily picked off, but not cleared totally out. Gabriel's second chance, he'll get it down the ice. Winterhawks will make a change, so too will the Kelowna Rockets with 45 seconds left in this power play. Kelowna, by the way, will play a big game tomorrow in Chilliwack, come back to play Medicine Hat, and then they go to the Prairies. First game in Lethbridge, only 1 game in the Central Division, and then they'll travel through the entire Eastern Division of the Western Hockey League. So lots of road games coming up, and a big one in Chilliwack tomorrow. Portland, by the way, plays tomorrow in Vancouver, their 3rd game in 3 nights, and then they go back up to Kamloops. So they're going to see a lot of the Coquihalla, which is apparently getting snow as we speak.
Surprise, surprise.
Right. It's a mountain pass, Bill. It's going to get some snow, didn't I? I've told you that so many times, Bill. It's a mountain pass.
You keep saying, you know what, it's got to be clear. Forget it. I mean, it's... How many times have we gone through there over the years, you and I, and it's really never been a problem for us. You know, it always seems to sound worse than it ends up actually being.
Sure.
But when it's closed, there's no mistake about it.
Then it's bad, right?
You're not getting through.
Okay, thanks. It is a mountain pass. It's going to get snow. Allman on that far side. The penalty is expired. Team's back at full strength. Still 3-0 in favor of Kelowna. McRae getting the puck. Evan Bludoff giving chase. He still has it. Goes hard. And there'll be a penalty on that play as well. Evan Bludoff with his speed made all that happen. Extra attacker out there. On the delayed penalty. Bowman plays it to Joe, and now it's picked up by Portland. And we'll get to the penalty, and we'll look at that when we after we finish hearing from Tim Morton.
Down here with Kevin Undershoot of the Portland Winterhawks. Kevin is recovering from a shoulder injury. Your thoughts on tonight's hockey game?
I don't know. They're playing pretty well here. We can't get to seem to get things going on the power play, and they got a shorthanded goal there, and they've just been playing pretty well. We got to get pucks behind their D and forecheck harder.
You traded from Medicine Hat, your hometown. Was that a disappointment for you?
Yeah, it was pretty tough leaving my hometown, but came here. It was a good situation. I was playing lots, and a lot of good memories from the Hat. A lot of good friends on that team, and it's pretty neat to be able to play hockey at home and for 3 years. So I was pretty fortunate, but I'm happy to be here.
You had an opportunity when you went back there to go on the bench and watch your team. What was it like from that vantage point?
Yeah, that was pretty fun being on the bench and then beating all those guys. I let all those guys know that we beat them, and it was lots of fun. I was pretty fortunate. It was nice of the coaching staff here in Portland to let me go on the bench for that game. I was pretty upset I couldn't play in that game, and I'm just really fortunate to play or to coach.
Thanks for joining us, and hope you get better soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
That's Kevin Undershoot recovering from a shoulder. He should be back sometime next week.
And I really think the Winterhawks need that guy, and I really think they're going to get a good rest of the year out of him. Kevin Undershoot, 81 points in his last 138 games played, and he does come from a winning program.
Oh, I'll say. And he played 219 games with that Medicine Hat Tigers team. So that's pretty tough. You play all those games in one uniform, and it's an adjustment. And again, maybe for a pro player who's used to it, but for kids, it is an adjustment. Did you see how hard Jamie Benn came off the boards? He put it high and wide, but made something happen there. That was Benn, as the Rockets are now on their 6th power play of the hockey game.
Well, Ben was able to rip that puck almost in full flight. He didn't have to slow down to shoot it. That's a sign of a good goal scorer.
Meantime, Barry will chase it down over on this near side. Lucas Bludoff can't handle it back of the net. Ben takes his man out in the corner. Now the Rockets get it back towards Schenn. Here's Barry. Barry taking his time as he roams down the boards. That's one thing tonight, the power play. I think it's because it's Portland. They're just not seemingly in the kind of rush they were last night to move it around with as much authority. And then having said that, they score their 4th goal of the game, their 3rd on the power play, and it's 4-0. But a more passive Kelowna power play than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I would add to that patient power play. You know, passive, that's what it is. But again, puck movement, it starts with Luke Schenn. Luke Schenn's got his head up, and you know, he knows where he's going. He's going across the ice with it. Nothing too fancy about that play. This is the pass. That's a good one. And then you got a guy going to the net on that offside. Barry, I think this is his 3rd point of the night. He's so good at making that pass right there, and you get a right-hand shot coming off that left wing. That Bruciano with that shot, quick release, and it's in the back of the net.
It's the 2nd tonight for Colin Long.
I'm sorry.
And it is the great pass by Barry. And meantime, Portland on the counterattack put the puck over top of the net. We know Barry will get the first assist. And he's had 3 now tonight. Schenn gets the other assist.
You know, if I'm playing up front and I got Barry on the point, I just want to make sure I'm always going to the net, you know, with my stick on the ice, because he is going to find me.
Well, we were making a case for him last night to be a star of the game. I can't see how Barry can't make the 3 stars tonight. Meantime, Portland scores their 1st goal of the game. It's King, Tristan King, on the doorstep. The puck just comes to him, and sometimes it takes some puck luck, and Tristan King scores for Portland.
Yeah, it looks like Torrey Jung's got his work cut out for him, looking to the left side to his left. And again, the Winterhawks credit, they come right back on the next shift. Good work on the forecheck. Not a big shot there, and Jung just can't get over as King is in exactly the right spot to capitalize on that play. Watch it here. That play gets right through to the far side of the net now. There's a rebound. Credit to Hawks. They come right back. 4-1 right now for the Kelowna Rockets.
So it's Francis getting the first assist, Grasika the second assist at 8:33. It's the 1st goal of the year for Tristan King from Elk River, Minnesota. He had 6 goals last year for Portland. Meantime, Colin Joe takes a shot. That goes off a blocker. And now Portland gets possession of the puck. Velchar in over the line. Schmerman squeezed out of the play, at least momentarily. There's going to be a penalty or 2, and then Schmerman takes his man down, and that causes this rough stuff. Schmerman was taken down, got up, took his man down, and I don't think anything more will come of this. They're separated down there by the linesman.
Nothing too serious. It just looks like he's taken to the wall. That's first of all Almond on the back check. He gets the elbow up right there. That probably was the call. But isn't that Barry doing a good job forcing his man hard to the wall, and then the follow up, the elbow. Yeah, I'm not sure who's getting the penalty out of all of this, but certainly draws a crowd, as usually happens.
Schmerman definitely going to the box. There's him in your picture there, and Ullman is in the other penalty box.
I can tell you one thing about that kid there, Matt Schmerman, in the box for the Portland Winterhawks last year. He scored 2 goals in 5 seconds for the Portland Winterhawks, which tied a record. Here is position by the Rockets. There's the trip. That's the call. That's the signal. And a bit of a discussion going on after all of that happened. Cody Almond in the box. You know, Cody Almond, just back as you said earlier, after a 2-game suspension. The thing about Cody Almond that, you know, I thought Ryan Huska did such a good job with him earlier in the year. He actually benched him at one point for some indifferent play. He was a healthy scratch back in Game 5, Almond was, and boy, did he go on a tear. He got 20 points in his next 16 games after that, so Ryan Huska indicating he wasn't averse to benching the guy that was the leading scorer on his hockey team the year before.
An extra minor on the board, so maybe 4 minutes for Ullman and 2 for Schmerman. But anyway, it's a Portland power play as Swiston works off the boards. He plays the puck into the corner to Chaudin coming off the boards. And McCray, who has a short-handed goal in this hockey game, sends it in from center. Portland now on their 6th power play of the night. Just got their first goal. 13 of their road games, they've had 1 goal or less. So they're trying to at least build on that as Lucas Bludoff sends it down the ice.
You know, the Hawks just can't get it in deep and get 2 men on the forecheck to establish possession. That's just a good penalty kill.
Swiston has the puck for the Winterhawks over there to Montgomery. Now it's brought in over the blue line by Chaudin. He's squeezed off the puck. Joe tries to move it around these boards. Intercepted again and shot down the ice.
Goodness knows the Rockets need all the penalty kill practice that they can get. They come into tonight's game with only the Prince George Cougars giving up more goals on the penalty kill.
Yeah, I talked to Ryan Huska about that before the game, and it's a little puzzling. He said if I hadn't answered that question, we'd have it fixed by now. But he's not overly concerned about it yet. Here's a chance at the side of the net. That was King trying for his second. And that's something you can work on through the year, Bill, and see your team rise statistically up that ladder. Rockets can't get the puck out. Here's a man all alone in front. They score! It's King again, scoring his second of the period, and it's 4-2 with 9:02 to go. And how about that? Portland strikes twice in a short period of time.
Yeah, it comes after some pretty good defensive play by Kinter. He did a nice job in front of the net. And, you know, credit the Hawks for keeping that puck in. It's a team that won't go away. Kinter lifted a player's stick right in front, and then a nice feed in deep by the Portland Winterhawks as Chris Francis gets it down low. Look at the heads-up play right there by Travis Bobby, and then that puck is kept in. Watch it go right here. This is a neat little pass right there. Deke, hello, see you later. Goes right between the 5-hole. And the Portland Winterhawks within 2. 8:55 left. Lots of time in this game.
So Francis gets the first assist, and they say Rasica the second assist. And here they come again. Jacob Dietrich brings it in over the line. It's followed up on, but only for a moment, and back on the counterattack comes Jamie Benn. Benn has it roll off his stick, and Kerr gets it out to the neutral zone. Joe just plays it over here. So it's a battle for the puck. Dalchar sends it in. Leavold made him pay a price for playing the puck as he bodies him. Leavold now with possession. Gets it back out here to the center ice area where Long can't quite get his stick on it. Long with 2 goals. McCray with 2 goals to lead Kelowna offensively, and King with 2 goals. Not very often, Bill, you see 6 goals and 3 2-goal men, and here's another opportunity for the Winterhawks, and it's just put wide of the net.
That's Shodin battling hard in the crease.
Wow. All of a sudden it got a little interesting, and it'll stay that way. Hopefully when we come back, 7:54 to go, third period. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Back in Kelowna, we have Tim Morton downstairs with an injury update.
Yeah, Dan, it looks like the Rockets are going to have to defend this lead without a couple of players, including a veteran defenseman, Tyson Dozak, and Kyle St. Dennis will not be returning tonight. Dozak appeared to be favoring his mouth after a shift in the first period. He will not return, and with St. Dennis, we don't know. The Rockets are being fairly tight-lipped about what kind of injuries both players have.
Right, I was told during the break that Dozak might have been taken to hospital for observation, but again, we don't have that confirmed or for sure know what the injury is.
Boy, that's how close the Winterhawks came to making this a one-goal deficit. Barry picks that puck up. He's right away got his heads up to move it out of there.
Portland's come to life here for the first time in a while with those 2 goals by King. Still lots of time left here. Let's see what happens as Portland tries to wrap around a tip, and Jung makes the save, and the puck is sitting there and swept away. Ben gets possession and shoots it out to the neutral zone.
Boy, that play deadened the wave going around this building in a hurry, didn't it?
Ben going deep into the corner, taken out of the play, but he comes up with the puck again. Nice play by Ben. He just looked like he was eliminated, got the puck. Now he's so tired, he just flips it to the corner, heads to the bench. Meantime, Lucas Bludoff takes a weak shot. That goes wide of the net. Over there is Bobby, number 27. For Portland, but he can't move the puck. Lucas Bludoff out there on this shift with brother Evan Bludoff and McMillan, number 15, the third member. There's Evan with the puck. He'll try to get a little bit of room, but it's taken off his stick, and Tyler Swiston starts back the other way. Long lead pass brought in over the line by Shodin, and he's squeezed out of the play. Funny how exciting a team can become when they score a couple of goals, and that's given Portland a lift here. They seem to think tonight they can come back. And there's a hard hit on McMillan. That was Ryan Kerr, and look at the Winterhawks again. Long shot, that sails wide of the net. Earhart pitches, puts it on the goal. Weak shot turned aside. King again from back of the net, spins, gets a little bit of room. Wojtachuk back there. Wojtachuk. Grisica gets possession, shoots it off the boards out to the neutral zone.
Without a doubt, the last 5 minutes has been the hardest the Winterhawks have battled all night, and they're getting rewarded. They still think they've got a chance in this game. Good on them. They only trail by 2. Lots of time left.
Shen. McRae couldn't get it at the line. He'll try over here to get the puck and does just that. Miles McRae, good play in the neutral zone. Gets it up to Kittner. Glove hand pass, though, stopping the play.
Dan, I want to show you something. This kid here, what a nice job Jung does in controlling this puck with his pad. Watch the pad. There it is. It's loose. He cradles it. Look at with the pad. He cradles it again and again a third time. He's got that pad right there. That puck was not going to squeeze off to the side. Very, very good pad control by Torrey Jung.
Kelowna 4, Portland 2. It's kind of been a treat for us to see Portland. We haven't seen them on Shaw. And it's the 32nd year the Portland Winterhawks have been there. 2 Memorial Cups, 2 WHL titles, first place 14 times. So even though they're going through some lean times now, they've had some glorious times over the years in Portland. Here is Ben, one-on-one. What can he do with it? Pretty creative, and then he swatted his man, the last man back, Travis Bobby.
Did you see what he did there, or didn't do? That time he had no speed. He didn't drive that defenseman back.
Leavold. Now Ben can't reach the puck. McMillan also couldn't control it, and Bowman comes out here with just under 5 minutes to go here in the third period. 1-0 Kelowna after 1, 3-0 Kelowna going into the third period. They made it 4-0, and Portland scored the last 2 goals. And here's Schmierman accepting that pass. It's tipped inside the Kelowna line. Swiston trying to jump on it, but the puck in his skates. He couldn't get a shot away. Colin Joe wins that battle, gets it up to McMillan, shoots it into Portland territory. And now the Winterhawks ice the puck.
And he talked about the bad year that the Portland Winterhawks had last year. They missed the playoffs for the first time in 7 seasons. new owner, Jim Goldsmith from New York, appointed himself as director of hockey operations for this team. And that's a position they had gone without since the 92-93 season. And, you know, he said it was a very poorly organized, very functioning improperly, this whole club. And it's going to take a little bit of time to put things together and turn it around.
There's a shot that goes wide or off the pad of goaltender White. Winterhawks trying to defend here. They can't obviously afford to allow a fifth goal. A comeback in the third period here seems remote as it is, but a fifth goal would put this game away. Do you know Portland has not played an overtime game this year? In fact, they've gone 43 consecutive games without getting to overtime.
No, I didn't know that.
That's a long time. They did have 5 early last year, but then from New Year's on, 43 games overlapping 2 seasons. No extra time hockey for Portland. Everybody plays extra time at all levels.
Circus time? Absolutely. It's always on the schedule.
Seems to be.
But I like the Winterhawk battle level here. That's a gamble they shouldn't have made.
Hat-trick chance and a save by White off Colin Long as Colin was going for his 3rd goal of the game. Jordan White stymies him.
You got to take some chances when you're trailing by 2, and you watch what happens when you get caught on a pinch. That puck ends up on Colin's long stick. He fakes it, tries to go upstairs, and goes right into the glove. Glove positioning, so important for a goaltender. There's the pinch I'm talking about. That's the mistake, and Long, so close. Good save by the goaltender, White. Sometimes as a goalie, you got to be lucky. You got to have that glove in the right spot and hope like heck the shooter hits it.
Yeah. Well, the replay showed pretty good there. At first, he looked like he took away the top, then he put it down, and Long was teased by that, and out came the glove again. So with 3 minutes to go in the third period, here come the Winterhawks again. Francis shoots the puck in. Evan Bludoff on the far side, lifts it up the stick of the Portland player. Puck just came out. Barry now on this side. It's tipped in by Levo. Earhart. And now it's the Winterhawks starting from way back. Bobby, lead pass. Chasing it down for Portland is Swiston. He comes up with it over here. And in the deep slot, that Winterhawk knocked off the puck. Chodine couldn't protect it. Chodine again. Couldn't get it in deep. Here's Evan Bludoff. Is that puck knocked down with a high stick? I think it was, and that nullifies the play.
Well, Evan Bludoff was the only player on this team last year with a plus in the plus minus. He was a +3, and he started the season last year as a 15-year-old. He was the second youngest player on the hockey club. But Dan, I know right now from a Kelowna Rockets standpoint, they want to continue the puck pursuit. They want to play the puck in the offensive zone. Now the Winterhawks have got the goaltender out as they trail by 2 and see what kind of pressure they can mount.
Goalie's out for the extra attacker here as Lucas Bludoff puts the puck back of the net. Long lead pass, 2 minutes to go and the goalie's out. There's a shot that's blocked. Rebound! Oh, that's just put off the target. And there was Velchar with a good opportunity as it just laid flat for him. And Jung got a piece of it. Swiston shot. That's knocked down by Shen. Now Earhart throws it through the slot area. Montgomery backhanding it back of the net. Jacob Dietrich back here for Portland. Bowman trying to check him. Who's going to come up with this loose puck? Well, you get a good look at it right there. Schmerman puts it back of the net. Here's Velchar. Throws it in front. A backdoor play. Didn't quite work. Earhart snuck right in. Good pressure for Portland. Can they get a shot away? No. And a trip. They're going to call it. Portland will get a penalty on that play. And that'll, for all intents and purposes, probably do it with 1:17 to go. The 6 attackers were out, but they draw a penalty.
On that rush into the Kelowna Rockets zone, Velchar was going down that right side. He took the shot, and he picked up his own rebound. Boy, that play continued in the offensive zone, and I love the job Bowman did defensively in front of his net just before the penalty was called. That's, you know, Velchar was very, very fortunate to get his own rebound back. But with Schmerman in the box right now, that should be all she wrote in a 4-2 Kelowna Rocket lead. That's now got 1:13 left, and they'll finish this game on the power play.
And the goalie is back in. Jordan White goes out for the extra attacker. Here comes Colin Joe. Officially the 7th power play of the night. They have 3 power play goals. Here's a chance for McMillan, and he's stopped by White. Another good glove save by White. We're in the last minute now. There's a puck that's intercepted. They get to the line, but no further. Long. Here's Ben, empty net again, and a good save. Oh, that's nice goaltending by the forward, Swiston. And he keeps it alive as Portland sends it down the ice. The goalie will try his empty net attempt, and it might hurt him, as Jung had that pass intercepted. I guess with a 2-goal lead, he thought he could take a chance, and then he has to make a save. Portland will hold it in. Kerr in traffic, throws it in front. Another move, backhand. The puck is sitting there, and now it's swept away. And with 8 seconds to go in the game, that'll do it. But Portland's made things interesting here in the 3rd period, didn't they?
Oh, they really, really did. You know what? This is a hockey club that battled hard tonight. You can't take a whole lot away from this Portland team. This is a very good Kelowna Rocket team, and I love the way the Winterhawks battled. They got stronger. Their best period, Dan, without doubt, for Portland was the 3rd period. That was a period they trailed going into by 3-0, and they said, hey, to heck with it. We're going to come out here and give this Kelowna team all they can handle. I love the way they finished.
Jung gets the win. He's congratulated. Tristan King's 2 third-period goals for Portland after 2 goals by McRae and 2 goals by Long in a 4-2 Kelowna victory. We've got more to come from the Okanagan. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Tyson Berry, your thoughts on the game?
That was a good effort. We came out hard in the 1st and 2nd, and we got a lead, and we just tried to hold on to it till the end.
They played a pretty cautious game, don't you think, in the 1st period?
Yeah, they looked it looked like they didn't want to be here, I guess, and I guess we just tried to bounce on them.
But they did come on in the 3rd, and Torrey played pretty well there for you.
Yeah, that's what we've been working on all year, is trying to keep the lead in the 3rd, and I think Torrey did a great job for us back there.
Now, he didn't get a star, but you got 2 goals from McRae, and he's been in snake bitten, I guess, for a long time now, and he got 1 last night, kind of a fluky one. So maybe he's on a roll.
Yeah, hopefully he's on a roll now. I mean, he had a tough start to the season, but I guess he's going now.
What about yourself? Are you happy with your play so far in the WHL?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to play it game by game and be good every shift, I guess.
Yeah, learn a few things from your dad.
Pardon?
Learn a few things from your dad, I guess, eh?
Yeah, he helps me a lot.
Yeah. What about now? You guys got Chilliwack tomorrow. You got a little bit less rest because the start of the game's like a couple hours ahead.
Yeah, we play Chilliwack tomorrow, and then we got Medicine Hat on Wednesday. I get to play one of my buddies there. It'll be fun.
Then you got a big long road trip.
Yeah, out in the Eastern Swing.
All right, thanks, Tyson.
All right, thanks a lot.
Your first star in tonight's hockey game, Tyson Berry. And Bill, I know you don't get to see a lot of this guy, but I sure do, and he's probably the best 16-year-old I've ever seen here in Kelowna.
Yeah, Tim, I couldn't agree more. The more you see him, the more poised he looks, the more patient he looks. Dan, they compare him to Duncan Keith. I think Duncan Keith was a great player here that probably had a little more explosiveness. I don't think anybody sees the ice any better than Tyson Berry. I agree with you, Tim. He's terrific.
Well, and when I see a 16-year-old like that, I automatically think, what will he be like at 18 years old?
Well, for one thing, and you're not going to see him in this league at 19. This is the thing. That's why you got to see these kids when they're young. I mean, Luke Schen's not going to be playing in this league, as a 20-year-old for sure. So, fans in the WHL, there's a lot of good players, 16-year-olds, 17. Sometimes they move on quicker than you think, but they're pretty special.
Just before we look at the summary, a word about the Portland Winterhawks. They did battle here tonight, and though the first period might not have been special for them, they had to hang in there, and I thought they did actually a pretty good job of hanging in for a while. But where I'm going with this is I think their growth this year can't be measured in wins. It's got to be measured in how are the players progressing from the beginning of the year to the end, especially with all the changes.
And Dan, a lot compete level. Barry did say it looked like they didn't want to be here, the Winterhawks. You know what? I think that might have been exactly the way to come out and play that role. Play like, we're not going to try to match them stride for stride. Can I hold back in the weeds? But what I liked about the Winterhawks, they only scored 9 goals in the 3rd period. They got 2 here tonight. You're right. You're absolutely right. Small steps for this hockey club, you know, patience is tough when you only had those few wins that they had last year.
All right, let's look at a summary here of the final period. And Colin Long at that point making it 4-0. It looked like this would be coasted to the victory. And King said, no, I'm going to score a couple here to make it closer. And they got the goalie out a couple of times there, and obviously had some chances to make it real close. I wasn't thinking they were going to get it to the overtime, but I thought they could make it 4-3 there.
Well, listen, it was 2 goals by the Winterhawks there. I'm telling you, Torrey Jung had to make 2 or 3 pretty good saves late in that third period to keep the Winterhawks from getting that third goal. And if you can get to within 1, who knows how the finish ends up. But certainly not the kind of game we had here last night. But, I thought the Rockets were patient, really patient.
Well,
tonight.
we have a moment here. Let's show some goals here from the third period of play, as it was 3-0 going to the third.
Well, Barry with that great cross-ice pass there to Long, that made it 4-0. And then, I think that might have been on the very next shift, right back up the ice. And good job keeping that puck in. This is what I was talking about. Good puck movement inside the Kelowna Rockets zone by the Winterhawks. They weren't giving up. They weren't going to go quietly. And as I said, Jung still had to make a couple good saves.
I like this new tradition. We come to a city for 2 games in a row. I'm hoping this is a new Shaw trend. We go every weekend to a city and we see 2 games because we like going games every night.
I'll take it. It's great hockey. Friday night for sure is hockey night in the Western Hockey League. Give us the odd another bonus or 2 on a Saturday night.
And we're sure looking forward to our next one, Dan Elliott. It's going to be Vancouver and Medicine Hat, a rematch of the epic 7-game series from last year. Yes, Bill and I are already pumped for that as we send it back to you at WHL Central.
Great job, guys. Of course, looking forward to next week as well. Let's take a look at the Cal Tire 3 stars. We heard from the first star, Tyson Barrie. 3 assists on the night. He's got 20 points in his 16-year-old season. He's 8th among rookies in scoring. Colin Long, the second star, 2 goals, 1 assist, team leading 38 points in the season. And Luke Shen basically teamed up with Barrie, his partner there. He had 3 assists as well. He is your 3rd star. Those are your Cal Tire 3 stars. All right, we have to take a quick break here, but we'll be back to check in on the out-of-town scoreboard one more time and wrap things up for our game here tonight. All right, let's go around the league one more time. Kootenay, a 4-3 winner over Regina. Brett Leffler had 2 goals in the loss for the Pats. Dustin Sylvester had the shootout winner. The Ice have won 10 of their last 11. Moose Jaw, a 3-2 winner over PA. Fraser McLaren, the former Winterhawk, had the winner in this one. Elsewhere, it was Brandon doubling up Swift Current 4-2. Shem, Lowry, Bartek, Dittmer scoring for the Wheat Kings. Levi Nelson had 2 goals in the lots. Edmonton defeating Saskatoon 2-1. Alex Archibald making 34 saves for the victory. Saskatoon, the worst road team in the entire league. Elsewhere, Prince George lost to Red Deer 3-1. It was Medicine Hat getting by the best team in the dub. Spokane 4-3. Dane Todd had a goal and 2 assists. All 4 Medicine Hat's goals coming on the power play. Chilliwack is up 6-1 on the Kamloops Blazers. The Dubs leading point getter, that's Mark Santorelli. He's got 3 more points tonight, 2 goals and assists. Oscar Muller, a goal and 2 assists for him. It is Tri-City up 4-2 on Seattle. Colton Yellowhorn has got the hat trick. Cruz Reddick has got 4 assists that game in the 3rd period. And it was Vancouver just embarrassing Everett tonight, 7-0. Repik, Bliznak, Zubair, Kane with 2, Peluso, Mahachuk with the goals. Tyson Sexsmith, his league-leading 5th shutout of the season. All he had to do was make 13 saves. And of course, in our game tonight, it was the Rockets doubling up the Winterhawks 4-2. Miles McRae with 2 goals. Colin Long, 2 goals and assists. Luke Shen, 3 assists. Tyson Barrie, 3 assists. Tristan King had 2 goals in the lots as the Rockets have now won 11 of 15. Torrey Jung making 20 saves for his 4th victory of the season.
Strauss-Herb WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Friday, December 7th as the Medicine Hat Tigers and Vancouver Giants renew hostilities. Strauss-Herb WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
Yeah, looking forward to this one next week. It's the rematch of the WHL final, the Memorial Cup final, as the Vancouver Giants host the Medicine Hat Tigers. A lot of the guys are gone, but there still should be some hate between these 2 teams. Friday, December 7th is the date. Start time 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Mountain Standard Time. As for our game tonight, it was Kelowna over Portland 4-2. Miles McRae with 2 goals. Colin Long, 2 goals and assists. Luke Shen, Tyson Barrie, each with 3 helpers, as the Rockets have now won 11 of 15. Torrey Jung picking up the victory, his 4th of the season. All they need to do is make 20 saves. Portland continues to struggle. They now have lost 21 games on this season. For Dan Russell, Bill Wilms, Tim Morton, Andy Kemper, and our entire crew, both in Kelowna and here in Vancouver, I'm Dan Elliott. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next Friday night.